Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome. Thank you for joining me today. I have something really exciting that I'd like to share. I'll be doing a pick a card reading today based on the chakra system, and I'm calling this Self-Care Sunday, but in truth, it's self-care any day. So if you feel called to watch and tune into your body and select one of the sets of cards that resonates for you, please do leave a comment, like the video, share with someone you think it might resonate with, and I hope you enjoy. Now, there is a little bonus add-on, and it's related to my own personal experience. I've recently I've recently been compelled to explore the Akashic Records, and so I have been studying visits to the Akashic Records, going into them for myself. And those of you who may not know what the Akashic Records are, basically it's of the mind that it is basically like a universal library of the soul. So it's with the belief that the soul has a connection and access to all of history, future, past, and present, to help us in our current moment, and seeking that information from a place of divine wisdom, so that we might be our best versions of our best selves, and help prepare for the next steps, so whatever they may be. So with that being said, I had an experience that I felt was really necessary for me to share with people, and you're welcome to listen in on it. If it resonates for you, wonderful. If it doesn't, yeah, I'm sorry. But for me, it seemed to offer up some feelings of comfort and peace, and kind of reaffirmed for me that inner trust that that I had begun to doubt just a little bit. My initial responses, my initial feelings of just knowing I was going to be okay, it just helped to reaffirm that trust in my initial feelings. So my hope is that you watch it and it offers you some kind of comfort. And there is an invitation with that, as a student, as one who is exploring the Akashic Records. If you are interested, please send me an email. I'd be happy to, with your permission, of course, connect with your Akashic Records. There are some rules and regulations around that, just as in any library. So do feel free to ask what it is that you feel you need to ask, or just inquire initially, and I'll let you know what the expectation is. So you can email me at awakeningdawn1977@gmail.com, or you can go to my website, www.risingintheeast.com, and you can send me a message through the contact us section. So I really look forward to hearing from you. I look forward to the opportunity to help provide some kind of comfort, some peace, some clarity for ourselves at this time. So please do reach out. So with that being said, I'd like to go ahead and invite you to take a look at the cards. I'll have them out for you in just a moment here, and we'll just have you kind of tune in to whatever stands out the most for you. So we'll get to that just now. Here we have our beautiful stones based on the chakra system. In this section here, we have the root chakra, the sacral chakra, the solar plexus chakra, the heart chakra, this little guy. This is the throat chakra, the third eye chakra, and the crown chakra. So the invitation is to just take a moment, and I'll guide you through this. So take a moment, take a soft gaze, allow your eyes to kind of flutter almost closed, or allow them to close fully. And just take a few deep breaths in. We'll start with one. And out. Take another deep breath in. And out. And finally, a third breath in. And out. So now that you've tuned in, listen to your body. Feel in your body where you might be experiencing a sensation, where you might feel called. So the root chakra system is at the base of the spine. The sacral chakra system, which is the second one here, This is the reproductive system. And then here, the solar plexus area might be where you feel it in your gut. And those of you who feel it in your heart, you feel it. You feel that warmth burning there. The throat chakra system, you might feel a tingling sensation or need to clear your throat. You might be feeling called to that one. The third eye, this is in between the brows, on the forehead, just between the brows, if you don't know where the third eye is. I personally tend to feel sensation here quite a bit, so it tends to be like a swirling kind of feeling without being dizzy, a pressure, a warmth, just a significant sensation in the body. And then here we have the quartz crystal as the crown, and this is where we connect through the divine, where it flows through us at the very top of the head. So go ahead and make your choices, and we'll get to the readings in just a few. Welcome, beautiful souls that selected the first deck of the root chakra. Now, since I'm having some technical difficulties and having some trouble finding a good space to do the work, I decided to go ahead and to just do a reading from a session from my room. So forgive whatever external mess you're seeing back here. I'll try to obstruct it, but we're just going to hang out and I'm just going to read these cards for you. So the first question that I asked was, the people that selected this pile, what is it that they need right now? What is it that they're really struggling with, that they're needing in their life right now? And what we got was the Ace of Pentacles. And the Ace of Pentacles speaks to me strongly of security and money. So the people that are going through this right now are probably struggling with a financial situation, a hardship, and then on top of that, this crazy situation where we're all supposed to kind of seclude ourselves, and how that's going to affect us financially. So that's a really big concern for the folks that selected this particular pile. So I did ask a couple extra questions, a couple more questions, and they are, how can the people that selected this deck, how can they support themselves right now? So the two cards that came up were both health checkup. So these are self-care cards, right? Health checkup. And we have nourish your temple. So the message that I'm getting with these two, I believe it relates to our health in general. You know, all the stuff that's going on right now, you're probably experiencing some signs of unwellness or disease in your body. And I feel that it's possible you have concerns about that, and legitimately so. So the invitation is to nourish your temple. So do things that make you feel good, that are good for your body. So if taking in lots of fluids is good for your body, do that. If staying hydrated and getting some sunshine and getting grounded, those things are all good for our bodies, do that. Make sure that you're taking care of your personal hygiene, right? So don't go 6 days without taking a shower. Make sure you're taking care of yourself, staying healthy, eating good nourishing foods, not just the goodies, because we're all going through a hard time right now. It's not an excuse to go grab the pint of Ben and Jerry's out of the fridge, freezer, whatever. So just make sure you're doing things that are nourishing you. So to further support that, I did pull a couple more cards, and these are also self-care cards. One of them is cafe. Cafe, aren't they beautiful? Look at this, look how pretty. Cafe really means to do a little something to explore that's good for you. So, initially this could be, if we were in different times, right, we could take ourselves to the cafe and just people watch, just be outside, enjoy the sun on our face. You can do this from the comfort of your home, right? So you don't have to be in the space of a group of people. You know, you can just experience life and just be a witness to what you're feeling and experiencing around you. So maybe you don't drink coffee, cool, whatever. So get yourself some tea, get a hot tincture, or if you really like, I don't know, hot apple cider or hot cocoa, or if you don't want something hot, drink something cold. Just improvise and do what's right for you. And like I've mentioned before, you know, whatever it is that I'm sharing with you, take what works for you and leave the rest, because ultimately that it doesn't matter. It's not my job to ensure that you subscribe to my belief. It's my job to ensure that you know what's right for you. So so make sure that you're asking yourself that question, like, is this right for me? Does this fit for me? No? Okay, doesn't work. It is what it is. And the next card is puzzle. So pretty. So to me, this card, it doesn't necessarily mean seclusion, right? It doesn't mean, you know, lock yourself in your room for 12 days and work on 57 puzzles. It's an invitation to allow those moments of the logical mind to do its work. So maybe it is putting together a jigsaw puzzle. Maybe it's a word puzzle. Maybe it's a dot to dot. Maybe it's just being in the space of allowing the brain to do its work so that you can process on different other layers those bits of creativity and ways that you're connecting with yourself. Just being present in your body and trusting your mind and your body to do what it's intended to do. So I did pull a couple more cards in support of that. What can we do right now to support, what can we do right now to support ourselves? So that was the question, right? So we have what we're struggling with right now, which is financial stability. It's that foundation piece. And then we have ways to support ourselves is looking out for our health, being smart, you know, washing our hands, cleaning up after ourselves, doing our laundry, checking in with the doctor, nourishing our body, our personal space. They're taking a few moments maybe to indulge and be present in those moments of life and just be a witness. And they're also to allow the mind to be creative and touch on whatever mental function or faculty is associated with, and I believe logic is one of them, you know, participating in puzzles and kind of letting our logical mind do its work in a way that's not forced, in a way that's easy and fluid, right? So other ways that we can support ourselves at this time, we have the Five of Pentacles, right? And if you're having some financial difficulties right now or struggling with finances, what this tells me is it's not necessarily scarcity. It's being mindful of how you're using your resources. Just be very intentional in how you're using your resources and how you're showing up to make sure that you have all that you need. And then the next card is the Nine of Cups, which is really beautiful, one of my favorites. And to me, this represents honoring the relationships in our lives, really taking a few moments to tap into and recognize the people that we love the most, not just our romantic relationships, but our relationships with our children and our families, our sisters, our mothers, you know. And for me, this was a big wake-up call. Not so much that and not so much a sense of power, right, or powerlessness, but it was a wake-up call that every moment is truly precious, and it's what we do with the time that we have. How important is it to you to recognize those people that you love the most? Let them know that you care. Best friend, acquaintance, someone you're just thinking of in the moment, send them a text, send them a message, send them an email, pour out your heart, whatever. Just let them know that you're there and that you care and they matter to you, because I'm sure that you matter to them too. So the next card is probably going to be a little weird for some folks. People always get a little weird with this one, but it is the Death card. And to me, death does represent transformation. And I honestly believe that with the cards that I'm seeing here, excuse me, with the cards that I'm seeing here that are already played out, what this tells me is that it's a time for a deep transformation on a personal level for many of us. And the Death card is just a reminder of that, that we're in a space of transition. Our lives as we knew them are changing. It's totally different now. We're still going to be ultimately the same people, but our circumstances have changed and we're going to be required to adapt. What does this look like? What does my future life look like? How am I going to transform and show up and be present and be my best version of myself, for my family, for my clients, for the community, for whomever? How can I change to offer the best version of myself? So the next few questions that I asked were how we can, the next few questions that I asked were, if we follow along with these suggestions of how to support ourselves, what can we expect as an outcome? There's also a couple of fun affirmation cards and Dear Universe cards. So I'll go ahead and read these for you. So if we're able to follow along with the suggestions, if they're in alignment with our beliefs, right? Whatever that looks like for you, you get to be ultimately the person that decides that. What does that look like? So we have the Three of Pentacles. This to me speaks to rebuilding a community. It speaks to me of working with our peers, the people that we've known all of our lives. It means working with your neighbor that you maybe don't know so well. It speaks to collaboration and being able to do that, to work together, to create a space where we can continue to support one another. We will be rebuilding after this. We will definitely have the need of social connection, of intimacy with one another. We've been told to socially separate from one another, social distancing, when what we need the most is connection. So I can't speak enough about connection and how it's so important to us as individuals and as a whole. Two of Cups. I'm getting some more information now, not just communicating with our loved ones and fortifying our relationships with our peers, our friends, and our romantic relationships, of course, but it's also fueling our own passions. So maybe for some of you, there may be a passion project on the rise that's just really starting to come to kind of a culmination. Perhaps that's in alignment with the Three of Pentacles card right here. Perhaps it's a community project, creating a community center or space for people to gather and support one another, or, you know, build and create resources for one another. So that's what I have for those two. And then we have the Eight of Pentacles. So if you listen to the end of this reading, if you end up listening to the Akashic Records message that I received for myself, this might make some sense for you. The Eight of Pentacles in this space speaks to me of movement and growth. Though it looks like she's just sitting there watching something grow, she has been feeding, nurturing, and tending to this beautiful rose for some time. And her love is allowing this to grow. I mean, it's allowing this to grow and flourish and become something beautiful, something greater than itself. So I do see this as being, later in the video, you'll see my reference to, you know, the cogs in the machine, and how sometimes we get so caught up with, And it wasn't my message. It was the message I received from Spirit and how I interpreted it. And that is that we are cogs in a machine. We're sleeping cogs in a machine. Now we're conscious. We're consciously creating our reality and our existence. There is the potential to be better, be greater, do more for ourselves and each other. So a couple more. We have a couple more. We have the affirmations cards, which are super fun. These are called the sweet ass affirmation cards, and I thought I could really use some fun in my own self-care, so I'm sharing it with you. So I am fully aware that life is happening. I develop within the experience, and I felt this was so appropriate for what we're all experiencing right now. Today's world teaches us that if we prepare well enough, the future will satisfy our happiness. Don't enjoy life now. Save for retirement. Age 65 will be a perfect time to celebrate life. WTF kind of goon squad advice is this? They are missing the whole point. By constantly stressing about the future, your awareness is not fully there or here. Eagerly preparing for your future comes with a price tag of anxiety, which destroys all advantages that foresight has to offer. Having a vision for personal development and who you wish to become is magical. But do not forget that development only happens in the moment. Develop within your experience. So, I am fully aware that life is happening. I develop within the experience. So that's what we're doing right now. We are taking these moments to be mindful and develop ourselves within the experience. And then we have a second one. I decorate my life with quality relationships, experiences, and purpose. The world influences our desires to crave higher quantities, more money, more sex, more friends, more followers, more cars, more undies. Sadly, higher quantities only create shallow satisfactions in the moment. To be truly happy, try befriending quality, not quantity. How can you take what is already a part of your life to the next level? Instead of the job you hate that pays the most, how about the one you love that pays enough? Instead of 20 Tinder dates a week with the world's best Photoshop con artists, how about one really strong, transparent, and beneficial relationship? The anchors of your happiness are already a part of your life. How can you crack open the magic within? It's time to put on the silk undies and ditch the rest. So you get to decide. That's the whole point of this. You get to decide what's going to work best for you in this moment and every moment that follows. Beautiful, beautiful messages. All right, so two more. We have our Dear Universe cards. These are Sarah Prout's Dear Universe cards. May I remember my cosmic power to attract limitless and soulful prosperity. May I remember my cosmic power to attract limitless and soulful prosperity. And dear universe, show me how I can transform fear into faith. Show me how I can transform fear into faith. I'm learning. I'm learning how to transform fear into faith. It's scary to stand up and claim what it is that you want for yourself and what changes you want to make in your life. But trust it. Nobody knows better than you. Trust it, trust you. And again, hopefully these messages really resonated for a lot of you. Hopefully there was value in them for you. And also, hopefully whatever didn't work out for you, you're willing to take a risk and try one of the other decks. So, as I've said before, I'll say it again, take what works, leave the rest, and let it be what it is. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching. Welcome, beautiful souls that selected the Sacral Chakra stone. It's a really neat tiger's eye. I'm not sure if you can really see. It's really cool. It's kind of a rough stone, but it's really kind of neat looking when the light hits it. But they all are. I mean, all tiger's eyes are great. So we're going to go ahead and just dive right in. Just to give you a little bit of context around how the reading should progress. The first set of cards that I'll be sharing with you, these are what the people in the in this section, what they selected, what they may be struggling with right now. And then the second portion is, the middle portion is, how can they support, what can they do to support themselves right now? And then finally, the last few cards are going to be, how do they move forward if they, what can they expect if they follow along with the suggestions to support themselves at this time? So the first card that came up was Temperance. And then we have Justice. And then we have Prince of Wands. So what this tells me with this combination of cards is that the people that selected this particular deck may have been in the space of creation, just starting to get something off the ground, which tells me they may be feeling a halt in the flow of that creative energy. Something has come along to disrupt their ability to try to allow that flow to continue. And that balance that they had, that work-life balance, that balance of creativity and worldview, and whatever the balance was totally offset, which then prevented them from being able to feel like they could move forward. Now, in truth, there is an ability to move forward even despite the challenges. So the message that I'm getting is that the folks that selected this group were more likely to be feeling some restrictions in their ability to be prosperous and to just kind of allow that energy to flow. So the next few cards that I selected here, how can they support themselves in that? Now, these are self-care oracle cards. Super fun. We have Connect with the Earth. We also have Burning Bowl Ritual. And further, Look for Fairies. So these cards, Connect with the Earth and Burning Bowl Ritual. This tells me that the blocks that they're experiencing are actually outside of the current world circumstances. This tells me that there may be a block from the past that's been yet to be dealt with, that may be preventing them from being able to move forward in a way that helps them to feel successful and that they can actually flow into it. A burning bowl ritual is where we take something we'd like to release and we release it to the flames. This is done, this can be done on a full moon or a new moon. It can really be done anytime you want to release something. But it feels to me like it holds more ritual, more space of connection and power and influence when we do these things under the new moon or the full moon. And when we do this, the burning bowl ritual, we like to invite something to take its place. So when you're ready to think about what it is that you want to release that you've been struggling with, I invite you to also include something you'd like to invite in, something you would like to have more of in your life. Perhaps it's just more prosperity and opportunity, whatever it is for you. And then we have Connect with the Earth. And that always to me speaks of grounding and really connecting with Mother Earth. And I think right now is the best time to do that as she's going through her healing process. We have Look for Fairies. So I believe in magic. I don't know about you guys, but I believe in fairies. I believe in magic, and I'm not shy about it because they obviously believe in me because they can be a little challenging sometimes. So look for fairies. And for those of you that don't believe, that's totally okay. to me, it speaks to looking for the magic in your life. Look for the opportunities that are magical, that are blessed. These are where those moments, those sparks of inspiration come in. Trust that, be with that, and know that, whether they're physical fairies in our lives, elementals, dragons, whatever magical moments you're experiencing in your life, honor those, be with them, embrace that. I think you might have been caught up too much in the functioning, right? In the technical piece of putting together and building, maybe building your business, building an empire, building the structure of a new novel, or whatever it is, that you lost sight of the magic that's connected to that. So maybe being able to release and flush out whatever is holding you back, and trying to open yourself up again to the healing properties of Mother Earth, and connecting with the magical moments in your life, that may help you regain some focus. We have a couple more cards here. These are really fun self-care cards too. We have Nurture. Which really is in alignment with connect with nature. And looking for fairies. I mean, come on. But it's more than that. It's nurturing ourselves. What can we do right now in this moment? What can we do for 5 minutes a day? How can we honor and nurture what we need in our lives at some point in this week? How are we nurturing and giving back to ourselves? It could very well be, planting a seed and tending to it. And as you tend to that plant, it's a reminder to tend to yourself, right? It could be literally putting your hands in the soil and connecting with Mother Earth in that same way, and seeing the magic of life, right? I mean, there's this beautiful sprout coming out of her hands. We have the ability, the magic to create things. We just have to give them time, and we have to trust and know that there's a knowing within the seed, right? There's already an intelligence within the seed. It knows what to do. It knows what to do when it's cared for. Excuse me. It knows what to do when it's cared for. And then we have crystal work. Some of us, entrepreneurs, lightpreneurs, however you want to refer to yourself, some of us work with crystals. This is one of my favorite pictures. It's so pretty. Crystal work. I believe that crystals have within them a soul. They have a life. They are a living being. They are comprised of molecules which are alive, and so therefore that being is also alive. However its composition vibrates, right? At whatever density, it's a living being. So crystal work to me is being able to commune and harmonize with a beautiful life force, right? With a beautiful being that we're sharing space with. And I believe that they have within them as well an innate knowledge in what to do and how to help us to heal ourselves. And that's the gift that they give to us. If you are very sensitive physically, if you're very empathic and you're very sensitive physically to the vibrations of stones or sensations of stones, you may feel called more to one than another. Some may feel stronger, some may feel, less vibratory. Maybe it's not in alignment with you. But I do believe that our stones contain within them some innate knowledge on how to help us to tune into them, and so that they can assist us in doing the work that we need to do. I haven't studied crystal work extensively. I just follow my intuition. I've been very blessed to come across some really beautiful stones that have spoken to me and let me know how I might use them to better myself in my practice and help my clients as they, whatever their needs may be. And then we have bake. So with nature, nurture, and bake, this speaks to me of a time to really get in touch with what's going to help us to feel nourished, right? So what's something we can do? What's a way we can care for ourselves by being very mindful about what we're putting into our bodies? So for some people, that's like double, triple, extra chocolate brownies, okay? But for others, you know, maybe that's putting together a you know, a vegan souffle, or, you know, I'm not vegan, so I don't have any recipes for vegan souffle or mousse, right? Or chocolate mousse. But I'm sure that there's some really incredible cooks out there who know what they're doing. So maybe this is an opportunity to explore and open up that creativity. And how can you do something, putting everything you've got into it? Maybe you know, maybe you don't. It's kind of an adventure. So yes, bake, do the thing, try it out. If it doesn't work out, you don't have to eat it, right? So in addition to that, how else can we support ourselves at this time? So those that selected this group, though I feel like what you're experiencing is a halt in your creativity or a halt in your progress, you know that there's a strong amount of passion within you to continue to follow through with your pursuit, right? You're strong. You were led here for a reason. You're trusting your inner guidance. And maybe it's that you have all of these other balls in the air, right? But you're able to get organized in this time and really see what's priority for you. So you can clear out the clutter, get focused, be strong, take that initiative, cut out what you need to cut out, and get back to business. And then we have Princess of Pentacles. And in this particular space, she's actually really closely related with the earth. So those that received this particular reading, I really feel strongly the message that you're getting is to connect with the earth, to get grounded, to really tune into to that grounded earth energy, to maybe actually get your hands in the soil and plant things. But what I'm getting from her is that grounded trust, that knowing, that lack of fear. I know what I'm doing. I have every amount of confidence in myself that this is going to be successful because I'm successful. This will be successful because I'm successful and I can manage all of these things. I know what I need and I know what I don't. So getting clear, keeping confidence, and trusting your own inner strength that you are on the right path. You know exactly what you're doing. So then we have a couple more cards. These are some super fun cards. But before I get into those, I think I'm going to go ahead and do... I'm going to do the supporting card. So this is, if you follow along with the suggestions, here's what you can expect if you follow along with the recommendations or suggestions of supporting yourself in ways that you can support yourself. So we have all swords. So this tells me that you still have excess, you still have clutter, you still have things that need to be shaved off, cut away, and modified in order to be successful. So maybe that's just claiming that that you need your own sacred space. You need space to be able to do the work that you need to do so you can show up in the world in the way you need to show up. For some people, it is cutting and shaving things out. For others, it's considered setting a boundary and asking others to honor that. And when they don't, making the decision to further, maybe further distance yourself so that you can have that space. But making those agreements and having those conversations is really important. So this tells me there may be some people in your life that maybe don't understand why this is more important than they are right now. So this tells me you may have a family that requires more of your attention right now than you're used to giving, and you may not be feeling as supported in taking care of them as you normally would because of the current circumstances in the community. But being able to set firm boundaries expectations, clear communication, and be able to just flow with what it is that you need in these moments. This tells me that you have the ability to stand up and properly voice without, without coming across as harsh or difficult or harmful. Like, I really feel that you have the ability to communicate clearly what your needs are, and the people that respect you will honor them. If they're little people, if they're little kids, maybe your partner, whomever that may be, can offer you additional support, because this is really important to you in order for you to fulfill your mission, fulfill your expectations, your own personal goals. And as they're being in support of you, so too are they being in support of the family. And then finally, the Ace of Swords. So this is a really powerful card. Perhaps this opportunity was for you to be able to learn how to voice what it is that you need to voice without the fear, the constant fear that someone's going to get hurt because you have a need. I run into that trouble quite a lot. I don't express myself nearly as much as I should because I am concerned that my needs might hurt someone else. So don't be afraid. Take the initiative, say what you need to say, let the expectation be known, let the need be known, and people will honor that. I mean, if they love you and they're in support of you, they will honor that. Trust it. All right, now for the fun cards. So these are the sweet ass affirmation cards. I think they're super fun and I love them. But they've got some really powerful messages that just really pack a punch, and they seem to be in alignment with what we've read so far. So here's what we've got. I am an animal of the earth and I deserve to be free. You can't make this stuff up, guys. You really can't. I am an animal of the earth and I deserve to be free. Why, as humans, do we lock ourselves in cubicle cages and rage our energy on nonsense that in no way contributes to our happiness and freedom? No other species on Earth is worried about a Facebook status, an urgent email from a boss, or that sleazy dress that Becky wore to the company dinner. Release your judgments. Rediscover your relationship with Mama Earth and run like a fucking antelope out of control. So, yeah, I'm down for an artfully placed expletive. Yes, absolutely. Release your judgments. Rediscover your relationship with Mama Earth. I feel like we've heard that before, right? And then lastly, well, not lastly, but the next card, nothing can stop me from victory. So I really feel like something of great importance to you, you feel like has been halted. Nothing's going to stop you. You have your focus, you have your intention, you're going to continue moving forward in those directions to accomplish your goal. You're going to be great. So let me read what we've got here. Around 180 million semen warriors start the mighty race for reproduction when Cupid shoots his love arrow. They swarm through crowded villages, maze through tunnels, and battle through the great protectors in the Queen's ovary palace. For the few that make it through the marathon and pass the guards, it usually takes teamwork to break down the fortress that protects the eggs of life. Once the fortress is cracked, only one victor can slip through and claim the prized egg. If you think you have no chance in bringing your dreams to life, remember that you are the result of Mother Nature's most impossible race. You are the genetic combination of the fiercest marathon warrior and the rarest prized egg of life. Victory is already yours. Whoa. I mean, a little unexpected, but absolutely true. You are the genetic combination of the fiercest marathon warrior and the rarest prized egg of life. Victory is already yours. Victory is already yours. You already got this. You own this. The minute you claimed it, it was yours. So lastly, we have four cards from Sarah Proud's Dear Universe deck. So these messages, I hope, will to help kind of anchor in some of the messages that were shared And as I said before, I'll say it again, whatever resonates for you, take it with you. Whatever doesn't, let it go. Dear universe, may all that no longer serves me fall away. I release it all with love. Dear universe, my soul is illuminated with the glowing excitement of attracting prosperity. Dear universe, may I define and attract abundance on my own terms and in my own way. Dear universe, may I be given divine guidance to explore new and creative projects and opportunities. So I'm going to leave you with that. I'm not going to try to impress upon you what I think those things may be. I have a pretty good feeling if you selected this deck, you already know. You're a very confident individual. I really feel that what you're going through now is really making you feel off your kilter, right? Like you're just totally thrown off and you feel really scattered. The best way to reconnect with Earth is to maybe just go outside, put your bare feet in the grass and walk around for a little bit, or even go hug a tree, go stand barefoot, pull at the grass with your toes, just love on Mama Earth a little bit. Maybe take a nap in the shade of a tree, whatever that looks like for you. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope that some of the messages resonated for you. Take what works, leave the rest. It's probably for someone else anyway. So thanks a lot. Thanks for watching. I look forward to your feedback. So please do take a few moments to offer me some feedback about your experience. And if you're inclined to check it out, I left a message at the very end of this video about my experience with my own Akashic Records. And I'm inviting, for a little while, I'll be inviting folks to reach out to me for personal messages, and I'll be happy to check it out for you if you're interested. So anyway, thanks a lot. I hope you are all well and blessed and have an incredible rest of the day. Thanks. Welcome, beautiful souls who selected the solar plexus chakra. So thanks for tuning into your gut because you know what's going on. Now, due to my lack of comfort and experience with electronic equipment, we're just going to read these in my room, and I'm just going to show them to you as we go along. So thanks for bearing with me. There was a lot of important messages I wanted to share that I'm excited to share with you because I think there's a lot of deep meaning and significance here for you. So the way that these particular cards were intended to be pulled was to ask initially, what is it that our folks here in the sacral chakra, I'm sorry, not the sacral chakra, but the solar plexus chakra, what they're struggling with right now. So the information that I'm getting from the 3 cards that were pulled. So with this experience that we're all facing in the world right now, this has affected you really deeply. We have the Tower card. So it seems that your experience with this has just completely thrown you out of the loop and put a lot more expectations on you than perhaps you ever anticipated, and you're expected to keep everything afloat. So it could be that you are a single parent, it could be that you're the sole provider of your family. So you have a lot more weighing on your shoulders, and you feel a responsibility to keep the calm. And that's a heavy load to bear for someone who already has so much responsibility. So that being said, I did further ask the cards like what we can do to help ourselves feel a little bit more supported at this time with what it is that we're struggling with right now. So with someone who has that additional responsibility, and with the information that I'm seeing here, there's been a level of expectation to sacrifice oneself for that of the other. So that really makes me feel like your time that you were considering your own, that where you would take time out to do something for yourself, it's been minimized. So these are possibly some ways where you can reconnect with yourself and still get that one-on-one time that you need and deserve in the little moments. It's really hard to find where those are, but maybe these suggestions will offer you some comfort and allow you to create that space in your life. So what we have here is the first card. These are self-care oracle cards, so they're really fun. We have read. For me, this is a great way to escape. But I feel that not only do you need escape, you also need connection. So what we have here is journal, right? So really getting in touch with what it is that's going on with you. Record it, write it down. If you don't have someone to talk to about it, just get your feelings out, do your thing, trust that you know what's best for you, and just be honest in everything you're writing down, and it'll help you to get a chance to reflect later on. And then we have flow like water. So for some of you, this might mean taking a long soak in the bath or a long shower. It can also mean that there's a lot of emotion that's coming up with this added stress and pressure. And this is an invitation to give yourself the space to feel those feelings and let them come up. The more we repress our emotions, the more they stay stuck in our physical bodies and can actually help to exacerbate illness. So the more you self-express those difficult emotions, even if it's just through tears, let them flow like water. We have a few more cards, so you guys are needing some support right now. So to all of us who are giving up our own free time to take care of our little ones or to be with our family in this tough time when we barely take time for ourselves, I honor you. I see you. I am you. Again, we have a few more cards here. So we have journal. So this is just another reflection too of taking that time to really dive into what it is you're feeling and experiencing. Maybe writing them out will help to just express them. So it'll help you to process that as well. The more we're able to access those feelings and express them, the less likely we are to allow them to also build up, like I said, in our physical bodies to create illness, but also stress. When we go unexpressed, it creates tension and stress as well. So we want to be our best versions of ourselves, especially if we're spending more time with the people we love the most. And we do have a tendency to be a little bit harsher with those folks than we are with the outside world. So just an opportunity to express yourself and be mindful of your experiences with those that you love, that you're closest to. Okay, so we have fitness. Another good way to move the stress and pressure out of the body is to do so with movement. There may be some of you folks who are not able to actually move as well as others, so it's an invitation to stretch, and just allow yourself the freedom of movement, even if it's small exercises throughout the day. Some of us are stuck at home and working from home, bless, right? Bless that we can actually work from home and continue to maintain our income. But some of us are not, which can create more stress. So stress on the body builds up, and being able to physically move that out, even if it's just stretching a couple of times a day or going for a walk in your community if you're able to do so, this will be a big benefit to you. And then play. We get caught up in everything that's going on around us, and we don't really take that time to focus on having fun, being present, loving our loved ones, enjoying the laughter of our kids, and not just sticking in a movie and getting engaged that way. We're all hanging out together, so it's family time. It's not. Let's have a conversation. Let's play a game. Let's play a puzzle. Let's do something with bubbles outside, or go swing at the park, or something where we're engaging and we're playing, not just with them but also with ourselves. We need that too as adults. We lose sight of that, but sometimes I need like a good bubble blowing break. So maybe that's what we need to do, is just create a bubble blowing break so we can just breathe through it. And sometimes that can make it a little bit easier. So some things that I'm noticing here in the next few cards, these are the tarot cards that I pulled for how you might be able to support yourself. Let's see. So taking a little bit of time alone, right? Being able to be comfortable in the space of being with oneself, being introspective, dreaming, maybe even keep a dream journal. Look for symbolism in your life, synchronicity, things that have deep meaning for you. I have a feeling that at this time you may be wanting to do a little bit of deeper exploration into things that are maybe a little bit more mysterious, or something you always had a curiosity about. Now might be the time to kind of dive in and explore the surface level of that to see if it's something that really resonates for you. I also want to caution you that your tone, your temper, your words might be a little bit sharper towards others at this time, which seems like it may be a little bit out of character for you. If it's not out of character for you, I invite you to just be aware of your propensity, because there may really be some hurt feelings involved. And so I just like to bring your attention to that. So just keep that in your awareness, that really moving through those feelings and things that you're experiencing through self-expression. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep showing up. Keep self-expressing. And do take that time for yourself to explore just a little bit what some of the things that might interest you. So it's hard to make time in the day to be able to do that. But this tells me that there is space for you to balance it. A lot of our time, especially for little ones, is consumed by our children, especially if we have more than one and they're bickering, or there's conflict, or I don't know, there's one favorite toy that everybody fights over. There is a resolution, and there is the opportunity for compromise, and also the opportunity for balance. So just try to be mindful of where you're at with that experience, and know that you do have the ability and the power to compromise, and to help bring that fluid resolution through into everything that you're doing. So now we do have a few more cards. These next few cards are ones that I pulled to ask, what can you expect if you should follow through with the suggested self-care techniques or self-care suggestions, perhaps. So what can one expect with the self-care suggestions? So on the one hand, yes, you will potentially still be seen as the be-all, end-all ruler of the house, ruler of the experience, the one who breaks the tie, the one who has the ultimate say. They will still come to you with those questions. But your ability to focus in on taking care of yourself as well will allow you clarity to serve them best. So taking that time for yourself to make sure you're meeting your own needs will help you to do that. And this next one speaks to me of going within. So whatever you do, in whatever way you do it, I do think that some self-reflection through journaling, or possibly even guided meditation, or working with breath work, just trying to find a few moments of calm and grounding in your day, will definitely help you to attain that place of balance and peace, and also give you your own space to kind of work with your own experience with whatever it is that you're going through too. So I do have a few more cards. Now these are affirmation cards and they're really fun. So they're actually called Sweet Ass Affirmation Cards. And they're a little bit unconventional, but I kind of love them. So what we have is, every day that I wake is a bonus round to enjoy this miraculous existence. I live every moment like it's my last. So I'll read the details on the back of the card. You did not wake up to simply exist. This is your one life, and it is the sum total of every moment that you have ever experienced. Yesterday may have been hit by a missile of fuckery so huge that your motivation was completely wiped from the universe. Yesterday is gone. Each second that you breathe is a bonus round to develop more excitement, adventure, and purpose in your life. Slow down and enjoy something beautiful. Not everyone has made it as far as you. So I get the impression from the reading that you are someone who is very successful and you are very motivated in terms of your career. But this tells me that taking a few minutes to really kind of ground into your experience, your right now, I mean, that statement really hit me hard. And I'm not, I'm not an excessive foul-mouthed lady, but people curse, right? So I think it's appropriate. It's appropriately stated here. I feel like literally yesterday we were hit by a missile of fuckery so huge that our motivation was completely wiped from the universe. So when something so big like that happens on a global scale, it'll knock you down a little bit. And that's okay. It's legit. Like it could happen to any person. It doesn't devalue you as being someone who is successful. So having a few minutes to kind of take stock again, get in touch with your core of who you are and your why you're here on this planet, why you're here to serve the people that you love the most, and how you can best show up for them. Really reconnecting with your purpose. Being able to connect with yourself will help to align you with that. Whew. Big message, right? So another message we have here, I am happy and free because I am me. So the message here, resistance gremlins sometimes surge in the form of insecurity. Unload your machine gun of confidence to defeat them. When you believe in yourself, there is no need to convince others. Johnny might have bigger muscles and a sweet Fu Manchu, but Millie might have bathtubs full of Benjamins. But comparison is the thief of joy. Move forward with the confidence of a bare-ass toddler running around with his diaper on his head. When you love and accept your differences, the world will love and accept you. So this tells me that rediscovering who you are, perhaps through play, perhaps through journaling, it might give you a renewed sense of freedom, of joy, of truly the freedom of running around like a buck naked kid with a diaper on his head. Why not? I don't recommend that, but just in general, like the theory behind it, right? When you love and accept your difference, the world will love and accept you. So we're all unique. We're all beautiful. We all have a place in this world. And these are times of uncertainty, times of insecurity. But you got this. You got this. It's hard and it's crazy and it's ridiculous that we have to be, so inconvenienced, right? But we adapt. We overcome. We push through. We rise. You got this. So we have 4 more cards here, and these are the Dear Universe cards. These are little affirmations to help us to anchor in and manifest the beautiful things in our lives. So what we have here is, Dear Universe, Guide my heart to be of service to others in need. And maybe you are, instead of being someone who's at home taking care of the family, maybe you're somebody who works in service and you're there to support other people because they can't be out doing the things that you're doing right now. And if that's the case, thank you. Thank you for showing up to do that hard work, for being there to support the people in your community. Up until very recently, I was one of those people as well, and I didn't foresee a chance for me to be able to work from home, but they've made some changes in my job for me to be able to do that, and I'm truly grateful. But to those of you who are out there, who are working, who are supporting all of us, we thank you. We can't thank you enough. And know that it has meaning, it has purpose and value to all of us. Dear universe, allow me to see the perfect divine plan in everything. It's hard to see the divine in difficult moments, to see the purpose behind it. But as I say that, I have something popping in my head right now, and that is when we don't give ourselves time to rest, the universe has a way of making us. When we don't have the will to act when the universe asks us to the first time, the universe forces us into that position, but it's all for the greater good. So it's hard to think about that when there are so many people out there who are struggling with illness and recovering from illness right now. So to all of you, I send love and healing and just a space of hopefully comfort in your moments of difficulty, whatever that looks like for you. So, but it is hard to see the divine there. And we've been called to question that probably several times in our lives. So maybe some journaling prompts might be, where have you been called to question, the divine plan? What moments did you think you were at your bottom when it was actually a wonderful learning opportunity to grow? So just thoughts, right? Just thoughts. And then we have two more. May I embrace radical self-compassion and release the need for control. I'm really hard on myself. I'm really hard on myself when I don't do something in a way that's perfect, or it's in alignment with what I think everyone else expects me to do. Self-compassion is a way of loving ourselves unconditionally and just saying, you know what? It's okay. I'm doing my best. We're all doing our best. We can't control this. I let it go. I let it go, and I'm being the best version of me. And it's okay. So lastly, dear universe, allow me to always show compassion instead of judgment. We have a lot of thoughts, right? We have a lot of thoughts about the folks who, I hate to even say this because then I'm just feeding it, the folks that decided that they needed all the toiletries in the toiletry monopoly game. But understanding that comes from a place of fear, right? Fear, lack, scarcity. What if we're without? What is this going to look like? We're scared. We're human. We're imperfect. We're fragile. And our balance of normalcy has been compromised. But one thing remains consistent, and that is our ability to love, to be compassionate, and to do our best to show up for one another and ourselves. So with that, I'll go ahead and end this reading, but I will say to you, thank you for taking the time to listen to the information that came through. Please know whatever resonated for you, I invite you to take it with you. Anything else, leave it behind. If it's not for you, it was meant for someone else. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Hello, welcome, beautiful souls who selected the heart chakra stone. This little pretty right here. So thank you for choosing, and we'll go ahead and just get right into it. So the way this reading was designed, or intended, I should say, I did ask a few questions of the cards when I shuffled. So initially I asked, what is it that our folks that selected the heart chakra space, what is it that they're struggling with right now? And then what can they do to support themselves at this time? And then what to expect if they follow through with the suggestions of that support. And then there's a few affirmation cards in there, which are kind of fun. So we'll go ahead and get started. So what I'm seeing here, this speaks to me so much. I am such a heart chakra person. So we're love, right? We're such lovies. We function from a place of pure joy, pure love. Everything that we do, that's our motivation, right? To show up for other people. And this card, actually, the Three of Wands, it is a sense of like solitude and self-understanding, self-awareness, but also I get a sense of seclusion and finding new ways to reach out to the people that we love the most. And I think at this time that's really important. It's just, and it's further reflected here with the Ten of Pentacles. Because with this is our foundation, it's our home. So, I mean, you might find that you're separated from your family, or you have family that lives far away, and you just try really hard to stay in communication and make sure that they know how you're feeling about them. So at this time, it's a little bit trying because it feels like you're going to have to do what you have to do standing on your own. And it's one thing to be independent, right? And to feel like this is my jam. This is me stepping out in the world being amazing. And it's another thing to feel like you're thrown to the wolves and you got to figure it out for yourself. So I feel like some of us that may have selected the heart chakra stone might be experiencing a feeling of having to do this alone. So just know, even though it feels like you are alone in it and there may be some steps that you have to complete on your own, you do have support around you. So that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at ways that you can help support yourself right now so that you don't suffer from exhaustion, from getting lost in, working so hard, killing yourself to try to like accomplish your dreams and goals. So what we have here in our self-care oracle cards is rest. So make sure you're getting enough rest for sure. If you feel like you need a nap in the middle of the day, take it. If you're not feeling well and you feel like you're starting to become ill, take care of yourself. Rest. Get that rest that you need. And you know what? This isn't going to last forever. But when it does, when it ends, this is a great opportunity to start making plans for a vacation. I have a feeling that you're going to want to reconnect as soon as you can with those people that you love so much on the other side of this. So, but for right now, do things to honor yourself. It feels like there's not really someone there to take care of you, to make you feel loved and nurtured. So if you're feeling super alone, do things that make you feel good. Honor yourself in little ways. So like make yourself an awesome fruit parfait, or like just go for a walk, or I don't know, just one night treat yourself to a nice takeout dinner if you're able to get out of the house, or binge watch a couple of shows in a row on Netflix. Like, do something intentionally with the reason of pampering yourself or spoiling yourself just a little bit. I know that some of our resources to do that are a little bit limited, so we don't really have like so much of the going and getting a massage or going to get your nails done, that kind of thing. But maybe you can do them yourself. Maybe you can find a friend who's good at that, who'd love to come over and spend some time with you, and still honor the space and distance to be able to celebrate that. Another thing that there's an invitation to do here is to draw. So maybe you're not artistically inclined. It's certainly not a requirement to participate in drawing, but what about coloring, right? So coloring one of those adult coloring books, right? So you could take a few minutes to really tune into, the colors, or get involved in the work that you're doing on the page. For some people, they find that to be meditative. I've actually done a few mandalas and set an intention or a wish, right? Like set a wish for when it's completed, and just really focusing on that. And as I'm doing that, I'm trying to think about ways that I can bring that into my reality. So maybe it's not draw, because in drawing, that's what we're doing. We're taking our imagination and we're drawing it into our body to bring it to reality, right? So we're making it happen. We're making that image manifest on the page. But for those of us who are coloring, we have an idea in our mind. We set that intention, focus on the intention as we're doing the work, bringing it out into life, right? So it's basically the same thing. It's a great way to help manifest in small ways. So, and also to maintain your focus on different areas that you want to see growth or opportunity. So a couple other messages here that I'm getting to help you to support yourself at this time. One of them, it is seclusion. So if you have a pet that you love, and you just give that pet so much more love, talk to them, and they are such amazing little healers. I have a strong passion for animals. They give us so much and ask for nothing in return except to be fed and loved. I mean, that's not that much, right, for what they give to us. I mean, they also give us messes, but we overlook that because they're adorable. But that being said, spending that quality time with your loved one, your little pet, and also just honoring that time that you have together, that connection. This is also a great time for reflection and introspection. And I'm really getting that maybe for some of you, if you're able, if you're feeling called, if there's like a nearby, park where it's not too dark or too late, and you don't have too many concerns about walking around, just taking that time to be near water too. It has that calming effect, especially for us folks that function from a heart space. Oh, water is such a thing for me. So it helps me to connect with who I am. So maybe it's the beach, maybe it's a pond or a lake, taking a trip up to the lake just to maybe even just sit and observe nature. That could also be something that has value for you. Eight of Cups. So Eight of Cups is, I get the feeling that you may have a focus maybe on some negative behaviors that you exhibited in the past, and you may be feeling like you might want to go back to those old addictive behaviors. But focusing on where you're at in the present moment, where you can create growth in your own life, and being anchored into your reasons of why you stopped doing that in the first place might help you to reconnect with, again, the present moment, where you're at, and get some perspective about where we are. Of course, I'm a big proponent for meditation, meditation and calming techniques, breathing techniques, just to, not just for inner awareness, but just inner calm. So I'm someone who has struggled with anxiety and depression, also adult ADD, and it has helped in a lot of ways to help me to focus a little bit more, and to stay present in my life. It's also helped to create more resiliency around stressful situations, and has also helped me to be present for others that are going through a difficult time. So, so that deep introspection, meditation, perhaps meditation isn't your thing. That's okay. Maybe journaling, or maybe even writing a letter to a loved one, or prayer, right? So some of us pray, some of us don't. And if that doesn't feel right to you, maybe even making a manifest destiny list, right? So what do you want to manifest? What do you want to bring into your life? And how can you do that? How can you make that plan move you forward into these next days? What can you do right now? What can you do in a week? What can you do to make it real? So really just kind of getting in tune with what it is that you need, where you're at, that inner calm, reminding yourself you're really not alone. I believe in spirit, and I believe spirit is with us even in our darkest moments. We also have a lot more resources and friends and loved ones who are happy to be there for us, that we tend to forget about in times of difficulty because we don't want to burden them. But the truth is, we're not a burden. We are a blessing to many of the people in our lives. And I can tell you right now, if you were not there one day, it would be noticed. So please, 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 if you're feeling dark and depressed in these times of difficulty, reach out, express it, feel those feelings, get them out, and get that support, because there are people who love you and want to be there for you. Whew. All right, so these last few cards are, these next two cards are really to focus in on what you can expect if you follow along with the suggestions. So we have the Queen of Cups, and I really find this interesting to be in the heart space. Again, I'm a heart chakra person. I'm a Pisces. I feel all the water symbolism. So I'm really seeing a lot of that here, that emotional depth and intensity. But the Queen of Cups is such a calming card for me because she's like the mom vibe, right? And I feel like I give off the mom vibe. If you guys know me, you know what's up. It's just who I am. I can't avoid it. I can't help it. But it's truly that unconditional love, right? And being able to hold that safe space for one another, for ourselves in our difficult times, that's a beautiful gift. Coming out the other side of a difficult moment so that we can support someone else, that's a gift. I feel honored when I get the opportunity to help someone through something challenging. It makes me feel like my life has purpose. So, so in my way of communicating this particular card to you, that's what I'm feeling from this one. In addition to that, I'm seeing the Princess of Cups here. So it also speaks to me of travel. So we talked about planning a vacation earlier. And we didn't really talk about that much throughout the reading, but this really gives me the idea that you are making some plans for the future. Where do you want to go? What do you want your life to look like? You get to make out a whole new map. You get to plan this whole thing out. You get to choose. And if that trip that you're planning is to maybe go see your mom and spend some time with her, that's an amazing thing. Connect with your family, connect with your loved ones. They need you. We all need each other. We need that connection. Just desperately need that connection. So anyhow, that being said, the Princess of Cups tells me that there is an opportunity for travel, and there's more likelihood that this is going to come into your reality. So, if you are able to work from home, maybe you'll be able to save more money since you won't be going out as much, and then you can actually take that trip that you've been thinking about taking. So a couple more cards here. So we have some affirmation cards, which are super fun. These are the sweet ass affirmation cards, and I really enjoyed reading them for myself, and I thought I'd bring them into this these readings as well. So I'm excited to get to share them with you. Okay, So I am the hero in my own video game. You are leveling up. You are gaining superpowers. You bust through brick walls and smash the skulls of fear gremlins around every corner. You fall off cliffs. You get attacked and eaten by monsters, but you always show back up twice as strong, mentored by the wisdom of your wounds. Bust through the levels, throw fireballs at all that resists, and blindside the boss who holds your passion hostage. Free the royalty within and conquer your creative empire. Be the last action hero. Yeah. Yeah. Throw fireballs at all that resists and blindside the boss who holds your passion hostage. Free the royalty within and conquer your creative empire. Be the last action hero. So, guess who's the boss that's holding my passion hostage? This girl. I don't know about you, but that's who it is for me. That's who stops me in my tracks every time, is me. The fear gremlins, right? And yeah, so we have the opportunity to be our own action hero in these moments. And then I shake away my fears and doubts to sail to my treasures. Right, so, I mean, another comment here about travel. So it may be something that's in your future. Easier said than done, right? But just like twerking, the more you do it, the easier it gets. You may even become addicted to the adrenaline of proving that nervous friend inside of your head wrong. That voice wants to protect you, but it also doesn't know how powerful you are. All ships are safest at shore, but that's not what the ships are for. Unfurl your sails and harness the wind. An ocean of treasure awaits. So this is the invitation. This is the invitation to take that chance to travel. I mean, maybe it's something you haven't done for one reason or another, but this is the third time it's come up, so I feel like that's a really big theme for you. Take the risk. Your ocean of treasure awaits. So we have three more Dear Universe cards. And these will help to anchor in and manifest some of the messages that we've shared today. At least that's the hope, that's the intention. So, beautiful messages. Dear Universe, fill my immediate future with joy, love, peace, and harmony. Dear Universe, reveal to me a new world of soulful and exciting opportunities. And I'm just having images of travel again. It's just coming in, images of travel. Oh, dear Universe, teach me how to make the best of any situation I'm faced with. We are faced with difficult times, friends. It's up to us how we show up in the world, how we love and support each other, how we help to build and keep and create and cultivate that community that we have with one another. How do we interact with people? How do we treat people in our interactions when we're out in the community? Everybody's scared, but who needs kindness more than people that are afraid, right? So I will leave you with these messages. So be it, so it is, right? So be blessed. And just like with anything else, if this resonated for you, of course, that's my hope that you connected with these messages. But if they didn't, That's okay. You know, take what resonates for you, take what works, and leave the rest. It was meant for someone else anyway. So thanks so much for watching. I look forward to your feedback. Don't forget, there's an invitation to check out the additional message at the end of this recording, which reviews all of the details from my Akashic Records meditation from my own personal experience, if you're open to receiving that. So I hope you all have a wonderful day. Be well, be blessed. Take care. Welcome, beautiful souls that selected the throat chakra stone. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So the way that I set this reading up was to ask a few questions. The first question would be, what is it that the folks that selected this particular pile of cards, what is it that they're struggling with right now? The next question was, how can they support themselves at this time? What's the best thing that they can do to help support themselves at this time? And then the last cards of the reading were intended to help them to, you know, if they do follow through with the suggestions, what can they expect as an outcome? So, so we got quite a lot that came up for this group, the folks with the throat chakra. And what we got were some pretty dark cards. I'm not going to lie to you. We got the devil, which often represents to me feelings of bondage. Being trapped can sometimes indicate abuse or alcohol abuse or drug abuse. So there could be some of that going on. It could be that you're not communicating properly the stresses and pressures that you're feeling, and so you're relying on old addictive behaviors that are really kind of pulling you back at this time. So those are kind of maybe leaving you with some feelings of just utter devastation and feelings of loss, right? So when we feel down on ourselves or we've gone back to old behaviors, we have this tendency to think really poorly of ourselves and not focus on, we only focus on what was lost. We don't focus on what remains. So there may be some other things going on. There's a possibility that you might be experiencing another loss of a kind, perhaps the loss of a job, the loss of a loved one, the loss of a pet. So you might be really sitting in that difficult energy right now of feeling that loss so heavily, and then the weight of, you know, dealing with those addictions, pressures, possible abuse type situations, feelings of being trapped. So, and those may be just extreme circumstances. You know, some of us, you know, if we do the same job for a long time and don't feel like we have a lot of growth, sometimes we can feel trapped if we're not able to see a way around it or see a way or opportunity for growth. So let's get into some deeper stuff here. So let's see how we can support ourselves at this time. Let's see. Oh, okay. So we got some really beautiful cards here. One, clear your energy field. So for some of us, I'm going to go back to this. So for some of us, we know how to clear our energy field. Some of us do this through meditation, through the use of holy water, sage, Palo Santo. We use this in a regular ritual space. For some of us, that doesn't resonate, but it can actually be very helpful for a lot of people to help to ease stress. You may have at one point in your life been recommended to take an Epsom salt bath. What the salt does is it draws the dense and negative energies out of your own energy field. So even if you don't subscribe to the belief that we carry around additional energies around us, you don't have to. It's not your job to subscribe to other people's belief systems, right? So there is actual evidence showing that the properties in the Epsom salts do help to draw out some of those toxins. And for those of us that practice energy work, it can be a very useful tool, very inexpensive and easy way to disconnect from some of the negative energy that's surrounding us. Another way we can do this is through the use of through the through the use of items such as sound, right? So sound healing, singing bowls, drumming, all these tools are excellent for clearing out that energy field. Another way to clear out your energy field would be to just clean up your space. If your room is cluttered, reorganize, get rid of certain things just to create more space, to allow for easier flow. And sometimes it can be really good to kind of purge through times of difficulty, just going through what no longer serves us to make room for what's new. So there's that one. And then we have write a gratitude list. So when I'm feeling really down and really stuck in that dense energy, it really helps for me to be able to have something to focus on, to anchor into. And writing a gratitude list is a great way to do that. So just making a list of things that you're grateful for, people that you're grateful for, experiences that you've had. If you can't write down a gratitude list, if you can't write down a gratitude list, write down a wish list. What are you wishful for? What is it that you want to bring into your life, right? What is your I've joked about calling this a manifest destiny list, right? So what do you want to manifest into your future, into your destiny? What do you want to make real for yourself? But for me, a gratitude list is really helpful so that I can focus on the things that I'm truly grateful for in the day. A lot of times too, I found that if I'm able to anchor into things that I'm grateful for about myself, not just things that I have in my environment, I'm really grateful for my resiliency and for my deep capacity to love, my compassionate nature and the relationships that fulfill me. So those are some things that I'm grateful for, and perhaps you can find some value in that, and maybe it'll help you to write your list too, to see what resonates for you. And then we have spend time with friends. So this is a little bit more challenging with the state of the world. But here's the breakdown, right? People that are struggling, people that are in addiction and isolation have a tendency to need connection more than anything else. And I think that people as a whole need and crave that connection. So this time of social distancing is really challenging. So maybe what we can do, I mean, they said no more than groups of 10, right? So maybe if you're comfortable, gather 1 or 2 girls, get together, keep some distance because we all want to keep safe and sterilized and all of that, but just be in one another's energy space. As long as everyone's comfortable with that and it's in alignment with what works for you, go for it. If that doesn't work, maybe you can start a Zoom chat or do FaceTime or send a video message, maybe just a phone call. We don't even call one another anymore. Just to hear the tone of someone's voice that you care for can be super comforting. We get so busy and wrapped up in our lives, and we're like, I'm in the middle of 4 different things right now. I can't talk to you. Text me. Take that minute, make that connection, Zoom video with your mom and have some coffee together. Because we can't be together doesn't mean we can't share one another's love and share one another's space. So celebrate the ways in which we can still connect, and how can we continue to commune as a community and maintain that strength, that bond, so that when we do finally get together again, it's that much more of like a coming home, more of a welcome embrace. So those are some of the suggestions from these self-care oracle cards. There's a couple more. Excuse me. Oh, lots of work here, guys. All right, so we have nature. Connecting with nature. This is a really wonderful way to just be present in the moment. If you live nearby water, a lot of times there's animals that will spend time near water, or if you can maintain a distance if you need to from them, just to keep everybody safe, animals included, because I'm clumsy when it comes to animals. I don't like to scare them, but I love to watch them. So maybe you have, like in Arizona, we have in Gilbert the riparian preserve, and there's a lot of really beautiful ducks that spend some time in the water. You can still see fish and turtles, and places where you can connect with animals in nature, or just being outside in the presence of plants and trees. That too can be healing. Right now is a time for a lot of us to need to get grounded and really get back in touch with ourselves, in our core of who we are. So this is a great opportunity to figure out what space is going to work well for you. If you're able to take like a small trip outside, or even if you're just laying underneath a tree in your backyard, if you have the luxury of being able to do that, or at a park, just, by yourself, just enjoying that space. Excuse me. And then we have meditate. I am a big proponent for meditation. I love meditation. I struggle with anxiety, depression, and ADHD, or adult ADD. Excuse me. And meditation for me has been a really wonderful way for me to settle some of the anxiety, the feelings of anxiety and the pressure, and the need to speak over others, the need to interrupt because I can't control myself. I mean, we all have different ways in which these particular issues show up for us. But for me, meditation has really been a great way for me to help to quiet my mind enough to be able to sit down with a book and just read. I used to read 2 or 3 books a week. And I haven't been able to get quite there yet, but I have been able to read out of a book every night for a week. So that to me is progress. I love reading, I love writing, and I haven't been able to do that in a very long time, but thanks very much to meditation and a daily practice, I've been able to reinstate some of that inner calm. It's also helped me to create more resiliency in my life. So hopefully meditation works for you. There's a lot of great resources out there you can use, that you can look up on YouTube just for like a free 10-minute meditation. You're trying to find ways to build that time into your day. Now we have a lot of time. So maybe you can actually take an hour and really explore. Instead of just take a few minutes and connect with the breath, you can actually explore that internal world and discover what it is that your soul desires. So again, that's, if meditation doesn't resonate for you, maybe it's prayer, maybe it's journaling. It's the purpose of these suggestions are to find what resonates for you, what works for you. But if meditation is something you're interested in learning more about, you can certainly research a little bit online. There's a lot of meditation in terms of the benefits. Mindful guided imagery, mindfulness practices, they're really, really helpful in terms of healing and coping, helping to build that resiliency in folks that do struggle with issues like anxiety and ADHD. It can also help with chronic pain. So those are it's a really great way to go within and connect. And when you're feeling disconnected, sometimes it also helps to go within to kind of anchor into who you are, so you can get a sense of that before you go back out into the world and try to be, who you were, or try to show up as who you were before these changes occurred in our lives. And in truth, our lives are different. They were different overnight, and we're different. We have a different perspective. And that being said, we have the next card, which is focus. So this can be just taking that time to be present, to take photos out in nature. You also got the card for nature, right? So maybe it is taking photos out in nature. Maybe it's taking photos of yourself and seeing, trying to kind of look within and see yourself for who you are. Take pictures of yourself enjoying life, remembering what it's like to be in those moments. Just really a matter of practicing presence, just being in the present moment. Or it can also be focus on an intensive project that you're working on or something that you're really interested in studying. So an intensive type of study towards, perhaps you're working on a degree and you're still trying to maintain your focus while you're in classes right now, and we've had to switch to this online platform. Makes things a little bit more challenging. But being able to stay focused and keep that goal in mind is a really it's a challenge, right? But it's something that we do for ourselves because that's our goal. It's our intention to accomplish what our dreams are, right? To make our dreams come true. So I have a few more cards here in terms of what we can do to help support ourselves at this time. So I love this. We have the Ace of Cups. So at this time, this is an invitation. This is the universe inviting you to fill your own cup. Discover what it is that fulfills you and seek that out. Don't give away all your resources right now. Reflect on what you have for yourself and how you show up in the world, and really assess what it is that you need to make yourself feel fulfilled and loved and whole before you go out and offer that support to the people around you. A lot of times we love people, like as a general rule, I know I do. And there are people that we spend time with that fill our cup, and they just fill us with so much joy, and it's like no time has passed and we want nothing more than to spend time with that person. And then there are the people that we love and we support, but that take from us, and so it's very exhausting to spend time around those people. So being able to fill your own cup at this time and keep that distance, create that barrier, and really discover what your boundaries are, what's going to fulfill you moving forward, because we are going to heal from this. Right? Like as a whole, as a community, we are going to heal from this, but we're going to need to know what that looks like on the other side. So this is an opportunity to create boundaries, to rediscover what our own wants, needs, and desires are. And that's so appropriate for somebody with the throat chakra. We have a tendency to kind of withhold some of those things. Like, for example, when I was talking about people that take from us, that may show up as us avoiding them because we don't want to hurt their feelings, because we do love them, but we don't want to share with them that they're taking from us. So we have to learn what those boundaries are, and have to learn sometimes how to be assertive in those challenging, kind of tricky situations. And that may not be the case for you. That's just my own personal example. But filling your cup right now is a beautiful gift that you can give to yourself, and the truth is you have all the time in the world to do this, right? You have all the choices in the world, all the resources in the world. You have everything at your fingertips to figure it out. And the way to get there is to go in and be silent and just listen, be patient. Your body knows, your spirit knows. You are an aware being, more so than you realize. And when we quiet the craziness around us, when we quiet our electronic devices and our busy schedules and our full inbox, when we quiet all that down and we take that little bit of time for ourselves, we can actually go within, ask the questions, and discover what it is that fills our cup, right? That helps us to feel fulfilled, that helps us to realize that we do have everything truly at our fingertips. So that being said, that's actually really exciting. I mean, this is a good time. So I'm excited for you, because even though you might be really struggling with some difficult experiences, I really feel like this is a great time for you to anchor in on the relationships that really have value for you and your own relationship with yourself. So we also have a couple of affirmation cards, and then there are some Dear Universe affirmation cards. So this first set they're called Sweet Ass Affirmation Cards. And I'll go ahead and read them to you. They're really fun, and they have sometimes a really profound message included. So I'll go ahead and read this one. Oh, I remember this one. I remember this card kept popping out, and so I'm like, all right, you're the one. Here we go. So I feed my inner passenger superfoods of strength, prosperity, and resilience. Therefore, I am strong, prosperous, and resilient. Inside every one of us is a beauty and a beast. The beauty is a product of our joy, peace, love, humility, generosity, and compassion. The beast is a product of our jealousy, arrogance, ego, greed, regret, and sorrow. Feed the beauty and not the beast. So I don't know if I'm totally in agreement with that in my own perspective. I think that each one of us has a light side, of course, which is our joy. And then we have a shadow side. So something to consider with this particular affirmation card is the beast, right? The shadow that we're afraid of, that we really don't want to look at, we don't want to explore. What is it trying to tell you? If you're experiencing jealousy, arrogance, ego, greed, regret, and sorrow, what is it telling you? What's left unprocessed? What's left unaddressed? Just kind of, the invitation is to lean into it. I'm not saying feed into it, but lean into it and just see what you experience there. A lot of times when our shadow shows up for us, it's just trying to protect us. It's just its way of trying to show us its love and care and compassion for who we are in ways that it's helped us to cope in the past. So just lean into it, ask the question, and see what result you get from that. Just an invitation, just a thought. All right, so then we have, instead of searching for happiness, I create happiness. Ooh, I love it. So we have, up to this point, you may have aimlessly floated through life searching for happiness. You tried Googling cat videos, binge drinking, occasional narcotics, strange sex, and even reality television. You tried to find the answers by asking your teachers, religious influences, coworkers, family, and friends. Dude, you've been searching for thrills and not happiness. Happiness is not something you can find. It's only something that you can create. Close your eyes and visualize how your life looks when you're truly happy. What step can you take today to move toward your vision? I love this. I absolutely love this because this particular card, it resonates with me so, so deeply. I spent my life looking for happiness, and finally, in the last 2 years of discovering myself and following my joy and following my bliss, I've discovered that my happiness is something that only I can create. My love, my joy, my experiences is something I am responsible for, and I'm the only one that has a say in what that looks like. So it's really beautiful to claim the fact that instead of searching for happiness, I create happiness. I am responsible for these moments right here. How do I want to show up for myself? What can I do to stay in my authenticity? What can I do to get me that much closer to my vision? What's it going to cost me, right? Like, what does it cost me to be my most authentic self? It's totally worth the sacrifice. All right, so last few cards. So these are the Dear Universe cards. These are kind of like affirmations, manifestation type cards. We have, Dear Universe, remind me that I am a beautiful soul radiating a beautiful body and energy. I feel like this kind of connects with creating our own happiness, at least for me, just in my past experience of seeking out happiness and validation in others. Just that reminder that I'm a beautiful person exactly as I am. I don't have to put on a whole bunch of makeup or do my hair or dress a certain way or be a certain size. Like, I can just be my amazing, beautiful self and share my heart and my love with people. And those who are called to participate in sharing my space, come on, let's hang out. So So a couple more cards here. Dear universe, remind me of the beauty and power of stillness in the present moment. So it's in that stillness, in that beauty and the power of the stillness that the messages come. We quiet our minds, we quiet ourselves down in the moment, and then we can actually open up to the messages that Spirit and our own internal, spark of the divine speaks to us. We can really hear when we quiet down enough. Dear universe, I call forth the energy of abundance to support my dreams and desires. Yes, now, this is what I need more of in my life, for sure. Prosperity and abundance, right? It looks different for everyone. Abundance is a great number of friends. It's love and support. It's, making a phone call or reaching out to somebody through a text message and saying, hey, I really need you. And knowing that that person is going to be there. To me, that's abundance. If I have more than I need, that's abundance. If I need less than I have, then I can share, right? To have the opportunity to share, that's abundance. So prosperity is money, right? That's money in the bank, money we can put in savings. That's money to pay off our bills. That's money to pay down our debt. Prosperity is a combination of those two things for me, of abundance and prosperity, where I have a lot of, and also I'm able to give and share, right? So like there's an even balance. There's more flow both ways. Everybody looks at that differently. It means something different for everyone. However it resonates for you. Dear universe, I call forth the energy of abundance to support my dreams and desires. And lastly, dear universe, I bow with deep reverence to the divine, sublime, cosmic order of your will. So be it, so it is, right? I surrender. I surrender. I know what you're doing. I know that what you're doing is what's best for me, and I trust that. I trust that implicitly. So, all that being said, I hope you enjoyed these messages. I hope they resonated for you. Something to keep in mind, as always, whatever I've shared, if it doesn't resonate, let it go, right? And if it did resonate, keep it. See what value it has in your life. Ask yourself, is this going to show up for me later? Cool, awesome. Share that response with me. I'm open to that. I look forward to your feedback. And also, I'd like to invite you to participate or check out the last video portion of this video. I've been working with the Akashic Records, and this is just a reminder, if you are interested and feel called to watch that video for any additional messaging, as it applies to my own personal messages, you're certainly welcome to check it out. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you are all well, blessed, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Guys, those that selected the throat chakra, there are 3 cards that I missed, and I'm adding them on because I don't feel right not sharing all the messages. So what we have here, these are the cards that represent what you can expect if you follow along with the suggestions and how to support yourself at this time. So we had talked about going within, meditating, getting in with nature, connecting with your friends and loved ones, finding ways to fill your own cup, right? And what we've come up with here, what I see here, is the Lovers. So if you were leaving a bad relationship, or there was a relationship that was really hard for you, this message may not be for everyone. It may just be for like a select number of you. I feel that you will have an opportunity to kind of heal those experiences through this separation phase. And you'll have an opportunity to heal what transpired, and that will open you up to something new. This, like I said, this may not resonate for all of you, but if you felt like at the beginning of the reading that this was related to a relationship that didn't end very well or was very damaging or difficult, and this could be something years and years ago, but that just came up pretty recently, this is an opportunity to heal that. Also, for others of us, this particular card, the Lovers, it does represent love and emotional healing for me. It represents connection and balance between the male and the female, right? Aspects, elements of the self. It presents itself as unity for me. And it also speaks to me of having the love and compassion to step forth in the community and take action, right? To help to initiate, to start a way to reconnect with people. I feel like for some of you, you may be incredibly organized, and you may be seeing moments that have felt very interconnected with the experiences that you're having now. So like it may seem synchronous sorry, it may seem very synchronous as to what you're experiencing now. Like it's perfectly timed. This is in alignment with the dreams that I've been having, or this is in alignment with the signs that I've been seeing. This is what this means. It does feel in perfect alignment, like every puzzle piece fits, like it makes sense, like that much sense that it all fits together. So this is an opportunity for you to heal, create, and bring to life your own intuitive perspective of what's gone on with the initiation of something new or potential to start something new to help create that connection. So, and I apologize, I didn't include this earlier in the video. So I hope I hope this resonates for you. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day. Thanks. Hello, beautiful souls that selected the third eye chakra. I'm so excited to get to read for you today. I do want to share with you the way that this particular reading was kind of laid out when I pulled the cards. So the first set of cards is intended to represent what you may be struggling with right now. And the middle set of cards is a series of suggestions or recommendations from Spirit in order to really represent what's going to support you at this time. And lastly, the last few cards are intended to kind of help support you in that process, like what that is going to look like for you moving forward if you chose to follow along with the suggestions or recommendations. And then, of course, there's some affirmation cards at the end, which are really fun. So the first few cards that I have here for those that selected the third eye chakra, right? What you may be struggling with right now, I feel like these two really go together. So we have the Eight of Wands and the Seven of Pentacles, right? And what I'm seeing is that you're really having a hard time getting things organized. You're feeling very emotional at this time, and you may be getting a lot of conflicting information. So you may be struggling with trusting your own intuition or inspiration or messaging, right, from Spirit. And you may be confusing that with what you're seeing in the media. That's just an example. This isn't a be-all, end-all, okay? But I am getting that it's very hard for you to get organized based on the emotional charge that you're experiencing in your environment. So that's something you're really struggling with. And I feel like by nature, you are somebody that functions better in a well-organized environment. And it's very hard for you right now to focus on being patient because learning to adapt to a new method of kind of flying by the seat of your pants without that organized process is a real challenge right now. But just so you know, what I'm getting from this is that you're really showing up in the best way that you can. So though it may be difficult for you, your own innate qualities of being able to stay organized and focused is really helping to anchor others in the present. That's just the message I'm getting. It may not apply, it may. So hopefully the rest of these have some value for you. So the next card that I have here, Be Still. So I get the feeling it's really hard for you to be still, at least to be still mentally, right? Like your mind is always going. I feel like you're always getting information, or you're always processing information. If that's from spirit or from people, like maybe you're at the center of some kind of a communication. So I feel like being still it's really hard for you to do that. But it would be a good way to help you to just be, right? So one way to do that might be through meditation. It might be through just kind of sitting still and trying to listen to an audiobook, or watch the clouds. Like, see if you can pick out animals in the clouds, or shapes, right? Another good way might be to just be present and receive sound healing, or receive Reiki from a distance, possibly even yoga nidra. Like, you can do that from a distance as well, from a safe space. So if you know someone that does yoga nidra, it's a really, really beautiful practice that might actually benefit you quite a bit. I won't go into the details of it. I don't host yoga nidras. I hope to perhaps one day in the future, but for right now, I do believe it's a beautiful modality that has a lot of value for folks who are trying to find a space of quiet or have a difficult time meditating. So just being around that sometimes can help us to get into a space of stillness. Whew. So much. And then we have the next card, which is Sync with the Moon. So you may feel called to participate in rituals, or honoring the cycles of the moon. As females tend to be more sensitive than males, and I think that's part of our chemical makeup. Our bodies shift through the cycles of the moon with the death and rebirth, right? The new moon to full moon process, but, with our own cycles, and they are in alignment. But this doesn't mean that men can't be affected as well, or those who identify one way or the other. We're all affected on some level by the phases of the moon. It does have a great amount of gravitational pull on the water that's within our bodies. So sometimes I find too, if you do struggle with being still, maybe just taking a few moments to sit in the light of the moon, whether it's full, whether it's new, just in the energy of what is experienced, right? And that magnetic force that keeps everybody in orbit and in alignment, and what we see in the sky, right? It still has a certain amount of frequency of energy, and we're susceptible to that. So maybe allowing yourself to be in the space, to be receiving of what the moon has to offer to you, might have some benefit for you in finding ways to support yourself. Maybe it might help you realign with your own inner chemistry, your own inner workings. So we have actually several cards of these really beautiful additional self-care cards. We have Listen. Now, listen can be listening to an audible book. It can be listening to beautiful music, to a meditation, to binaural beats, with different frequencies, and kind of exploring that a little bit. It could be sitting in on a vibrational sound healing or gong healing. Those are really neat experiences. Drumming just really kind of gets the blood moving. Listening, being present, being still, and listening. So this is a good opportunity to try to figure out if any of those things would work for you. Maybe it's just trying to listen to new and different kinds of music, right? So just a different style of music. Just check it out, see if it resonates. And then we have Learn. So people that selected the third eye chakra, a lot of times I find that you folks are intuitive. You may get messages through vision, through hearing, through dreams. You may feel them elsewhere in your body, but I do believe that people with the third eye chakra, that selected the third eye chakra, really connect with their intuition and vision. So learning perhaps a new form of divination, a clearer form of seeing, perhaps learning just to meditate. And again, I'm just such a strong proponent of, I'm such a strong supporter of meditation, because it's had such beautiful benefits for myself and for some of the other people around me. It could just be learning a new modality, maybe exploring what hypnotherapy is, or what the benefits are, or what Reiki is, different types of energy work, or maybe just picking up, as simple as picking up a deck of tarot cards or oracle cards and seeing if that resonates for you. I love divination. I've always loved different forms of divination, so I have a curiosity about each one of those different types of modalities, from bones to runes to gazing into a crystal ball to automatic writing, like all these different methods in which we can connect with what we can't see. Super exciting for me. And then we have unplug. Unplug. I need to unplug. I need to release, unplug, let go, and just be present. For some of us, that's just being in our own space and feeling what that feels like. Taking a bath, right? Or having an hour to ourselves, or letting our phone stay dead for about 2 hours so we can just feel like we can breathe. Sitting down with a journal and connecting, drawing, sketching, being in our body, dancing, moving, whatever that looks like. Unplug, let loose, be you, find what that is. And then we have breakfast. So I think this is really cute. How many of us actually make time for breakfast even after this whole crazy thing started? I haven't. Because I've gotten out of the routine of remembering to take care of myself first thing in the morning, to be present and ready for the people that I support, whatever that looks like. So for me, what that looks like is a cup of coffee. And you definitely want me to have a cup of coffee, because nobody is grouchier than this lady without a cup of coffee. Don't ask me how it happens. It's like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. But it makes me wonder, what does eating a healthy breakfast and starting my day in a way that's nourishing and wholesome, what does that look like? What would that be like? I'm not hungry in the morning, but why can't I begin that practice? Maybe I can. Maybe that is something that I can do to honor myself, to start out my day. Right after making my bed, why not go out and make myself some breakfast? It's not going to hurt nobody. So something to think about. Some of us that are now working from home, we might have that a little extra time that we normally use for our commute. Maybe we can use that time to create a healthy breakfast for ourselves. So those of you who try it out, let me know. Let me know what you think. All right, so we've got a few more cards here. Some more cards about what we can do to help support ourselves at this time. So a couple things that I'm getting here are so people who are intuitive have a tendency to kind of be open to what may be coming in before it happens. And what I'm getting here with these two cards particularly, we have the Ten of Swords and the Seven of Wands. So the Ten of Swords can represent like an onslaught of just really negative, harsh responses. So here's the thing. People are going to be grouchy. It's going to be bad news for a little bit until we figure it out, until we kind of get our heads on straight and straighten out and start acting normal again, because there's been some craziness, right? It takes a little while to adjust for people to realize, whoa, hold on a minute, this is not me. And we tend to take that out on the people we love the most. So being intuitive, I have a feeling that you may already know or could potentially see areas that may be problematic for you, or maybe potentially verbally damaging, possibly even physically damaging. You know, this whole crazy circumstance may affect your financial, your living situation. So you may be dealing with and kind of juggling through a lot of challenges right now. You may have been misplaced as an employee, right? As a result of this madness. So something to be aware of, a way that you can support yourself is to trust your intuition, because your intuition is key. That above all else is something that can support you. So when you do that, when you trust your intuition and you behave and you act from a place of truth and authenticity within yourself, even though things may be really difficult, you will have the ability to help to maintain your balance and stay focused on your ultimate goal. So just know that you can trust on your intuition as a means to help to build that resiliency with yourself. The more you trust yourself, the more you feel right about the decisions that you make and how you show up in the world for others. And trusting your own intuition, it's the greatest. It's the greatest way to show yourself self-love and self-care. Trusting what our body is telling us. So. Now I have a few more cards here. I'm going to go ahead and read these other three. These are what you can expect if you follow along with the suggestions, because I forgot to read them for the last set and I had to do them afterwards. So we're going to read those first and then we're going to read the affirmation cards. So here's what you can expect if you support yourself at this time. So I feel like trusting that intuition does make you feel like a little bit of an outcast, right? It kind of sets you apart. You can't really explain why you're feeling or experiencing what you're feeling or experiencing, but you know, and you know what you know. And if you bring that to your friends, those that love you and trust you, know that you know what you're talking about. And they're not going to judge you based on that. Those who don't know or don't understand, they are going to place judgment. And you know what? It doesn't matter. It's none of your business what other people think of you. It's none of my business either, right? So we already carry so much weight of our own judgment. I try not to put my judgment on other people. That's a lot to carry around. That's a lot of responsibility on me that I don't want. Thanks. I'm good. So then finally we have, let me go back to that. So if you do have a fear of judgment, just know that being able to be in alignment with trusting yourself and your intuition, it's a way for you to be authentic with yourself. So when you're more authentic with yourself, you're less likely to experience the stress, the pressure, the yucky feeling that comes along with other people's judgment of you. I wouldn't worry about it. So finally, we have the King of Swords. So this is really interesting for me to see in the third eye chakra, with the sword being here. Swords are about communication, and in a way I feel like you're going to speak with confidence about what you discover in your self journey, and I feel like this has a great level of importance for the world to hear. So I'm really excited to hear how that turns out for you, what that looks like for you, and what comes to you in these times. So yes, be your authentic self. Share those messages with the world. Yes, do that. That's what we're all here to do, right? Like, we're just going to figure it out, and we're going to be amazing, and it's going to be okay, right? So then we have a few affirmation cards. Now these are super fun. And you guys actually got 3. So it's going to be wild. So we have, these are called the Sweet Ass Affirmation Cards. And they're just really fun. I mean, as a part of self-care, affirmations is one of those elements of self-care for me. So speaking positively, something that's encouraging, I need that. And there may be some cursing involved. Don't judge. So this first one, I give no fucks, I kiss no butts. So sorry, kids, don't look at this. So we have, it's time for you to stop giving a fuck. You don't need to, let me start that sentence again. You don't need validation or approval from anyone. So stop comparing yourself to other people. Breathe, relax, be the greatest version of yourself for you and nobody else. You are internally validated, gorgeous, and your self-esteem is impregnable. You never give a poo what anyone else thinks of you. You are the baddest mofo in this wild universe. Your power is now... I almost want to re-record this whole part because it's cracking me up. I'm gonna go back and read it though, so this should be fun for you. Never give a poo what anyone else thinks of you. You are the baddest mofo in this wild universe. Your power is in how you choose to react. Yes. Didn't we just talk about that? How you were going to show up in the world and people are going to judge you and it doesn't really matter? Yeah. Yeah. Stop comparing yourself to other people. Be the greatest version of yourself for you and nobody else. Because you are internally validated, gorgeous, and your self-esteem is impregnable. You're amazing. You know this. You got this. All right. So we got a couple more. Spirit wants me to be cursing today, okay, guys? Sorry. Apparently, that's the only way to just really evoke that passion that you need. So, I do not worry about petty bullshit. I show up, I hunt, I eat. Or maybe we don't hunt if we're vegan and we just really honor all life. I'm just saying. So we have your distant ancestors. Man, this is really like curse fest over here. Your distant ancestors didn't dick around worrying about how good they looked to the rest of the world. They were out hunting animals, battling enemies, and creating empires. They probably smelled like ass and were completely unaware that the descendants would gel their hair, shave their butts, and implant body parts to impress each other. Quit focusing on the surface and do what needs to be done in the core to survive and advance. The future depends on you. So really, I mean, minus the few expellatives here, really what this comes down to is don't focus on the surface stuff, right? Do what needs to be done for you to survive in a way that meets your own needs as an individual, as someone who is a sovereign being, right? That deserves the space and time and creation for their own self-care and love in order to be healthy and healed, right? So, I mean, it's a powerful message, yes, and mildly humorous, but it's important. Our ancestors did some crazy stuff and they'd be like, what are you nuts doing? Absolutely. What are we doing, you guys? I won't even talk about the craziness out there right now. We all know. So the last affirmation card, I get super high. I never stop peaking. When your weakness is exposed and you feel like a helpless donkey strapped to an operating table, remember that you aren't the first one to be diagnosed by the peanut gallery. In the sinking pits of despair, you must trek forward to the next great summit. Expose yourself and be transparent. Reflect the wisdom of your fall back into the world. The lowest points in life are preparing you for the next highest explorations. How high can you get? Never stop peaking. So we already talked about how crazy this time is. And this is really a time of transformation for a lot of us. This is your opportunity to really take a look at your lowest point. And I feel like it's a low point for you, probably lowest for a lot of us. You will overcome it. You will get past this. Just have faith in you, trust in yourself, and do what you can to support yourself at this time. All right, so we have just a few more cards, and these are the Dear Universe affirmation cards. These are kind of like manifestation cards, or what we want to bring into our lives to kind of anchor in where we're at and what messages we received. So here we go. Dear Universe, show me signs of alignment that I am manifesting all that my heart desires. What do you want to bring into your life? These are the moments that inspire these questions. What am I missing? What do I need? I mean, we're really having an opportunity to reevaluate what it is that we need. What do we want to manifest then? I mean, if we don't need supplies, we don't need laundry soap, right? We have that. We have everything we need. So what do we want? What do we need in our soul? What are we missing? What does that look like? These are the times that inspire those questions. Okay, 2 more. Dear Universe, allow me to choose love over fear always. Always. I could say it a million times that fear is the greatest virus. It spreads so quickly. And it's pretty disastrous results. So choose love over fear always. Lastly, dear Universe, allow me the power to inspire and heal others. Maybe you don't feel called to healing. Maybe you don't feel called to do that for others. But you know what? I think there is a little bit of a need to heal others within each of us. I think this is a call for everyone to just take a look at our lives. How can we heal ourselves? And then from there, how do we want to show up for other people? Does that mean I want to be a healer? Does that mean I want to be a doctor? Does that mean I want to be a lawyer? Does that mean I want to be a craftsman? Whatever it is, how are you going to show up in this world? But in everything that you do, you're not only healing yourself through the work that you're doing for yourself, things that feed your soul, but it's also an inspiration to others. It also offers them healing by your example, by your standing up to do the work that's intended for you by spirit, by listening to that call, by showing up in your authenticity. It's a beautiful gift that you can share with the world. So even if you don't feel called to healing, in a way, you already are. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I hope it resonates for you. And if it doesn't, then, take what works for you, leave the rest. It's what it is. It was probably meant for someone else anyway. So I also invite you to go ahead and check out the very last of these videos, which is basically just me sharing my experience from my visit to the Akashic Records with the messages that I received. So if you're so inclined, please do check that out. I hope you are all well and safe, and have a wonderful rest of the day. Take care. Hello, welcome, beautiful souls that selected the crown chakra. So I'm excited to get to share these cards with you, this reading with you. But I did want to kind of give you an idea of what the outline of that reading looks like. So I did ask 3 questions. Initially, I asked for the people that selected the crown chakra, what can we identify what it is that they're really struggling with at this time? And then the second question that I asked is, how can they support themselves at this time? And in that section, I asked that question using a couple of really great self-care cards. So those are going to maybe offer some suggestions and ideas of how to move through this challenging time for you. And then the last question that I asked is, if they tend to follow through with these recommendations and suggestions, what can they expect as a result? So to start this out, we got a couple of cards here. So what we received was the Magician, the 8 of Wands, and the 8 of Swords. So what this tells me, looking at these cards, This tells me that you have all the tools that you need, and you've been given all the information that you need to get something to take off, to begin a process, to begin a business. And you feel like you put yourself out there, only to kind of be halted by this confusion. Like suddenly there's this moment of, okay, I'm ready, I'm doing what you're asking me to do. And then, hold on, wait a minute, now we don't know what we're doing anymore. So kind of a feeling of being stuck. So that's the information I'm getting. This may resonate for you, it may not. A lot of times what this means is that you have all the tools that you need, you're ready to take that next step, you're ready to move forward, and suddenly there are folks that are really not quite sure what it is that you're talking about, they're really not on the same page with you, so it can be kind of a confusing time. Right? So there's something that interrupted the flow of your creativity and your process and your success. So let's get into it a little bit further. So we have the next card, which is Beauty Ritual. And then we have Build Strength. So for Beauty Ritual, when we feel a sense of loss of self, right? Like that might initiate or instigate a feeling of loss of self. If you're ready, you're stepping out, you're putting yourself out there, all ready to go gung-ho, move forward. And then somebody's like, hold on, wait a minute, I'm not ready for this. What? You were just ready a minute ago. So that makes us kind of go in and question ourselves. For me, Beauty Ritual, it's not just about connecting with putting on nail polish, right? Or like filing your nails, right? It's more than that. It's really about connecting with our body, realigning with how we feel about ourselves inside out, right? Like, what can I do in this moment to get anchored into my own confidence about who I am and how I'm showing up in the world? So to me, that's what Beauty Ritual represents, like honoring yourself and finding ways to validate and just reaffirm who you are and the beautiful soul that you are and your own intentions. I feel like you didn't do anything wrong in this instance. It just happened to be a matter of circumstances. And then we have Build Strength. So I find it very interesting that this particular picture on the card represents someone who's working out, right? Who's practicing boxing. But in the center of her forehead is that third eye, right? So building strength can be both physically, mentally, and spiritually. This time right now that we are in these moments in this crazy world, it is a time of needing to build strength, build resiliency. So more so than just our physical health and wellness, it's our spiritual health and wellness. It's our emotional health and wellness. They are all one. We are all one multifaceted, multifunctional being. I really feel that, yes, get in your body, right? Like exercise, stretch, do whatever feels right and comfortable to you in the moment. But now don't just build strength, build that resiliency so that you can be in alignment with who you are. And it's not going to be influenced so much by the outside world, right? Like, we don't need to buy all the toiletries. We can buy what we need in toiletries and we'll be fine. Everybody be fine, right? Being in alignment with what feels right with you. Okay, not functioning from a place of fear, but a place of preparedness. And that, I think, is what the message is here. Build strength, build resiliency. You got this. You know who you are. Get back to that place of knowing who you are and your inner confidence and build that resiliency to continue to show up and keep giving your message and keep being out there in the world in the best way that you can be, right? And there are a couple more self-care cards. We have flowers. So, you know what, maybe the circumstance that was halted, maybe it was a date, maybe it was somebody that you met and maybe you were moving too fast for them. But you know what? You know who you are, you know your value. Go buy yourself some flowers. Who else is going to appreciate them? I buy myself flowers all the time. But to buy them for ourselves because we have value and we deserve to be surrounded by beautiful things, Get yourself some flowers, get yourself a plant, whatever makes you feel good, makes you happy, makes you enjoy that environment that you're in. Do that thing. Do it. Go for it. And then we have date. So it's really interesting because I see her preparing this meal and she's by herself listening to music. So maybe this isn't about taking somebody else out for a date. Maybe this is about having a date night with yourself, right? And if it is about having a date night with somebody else, being in the space of curiosity, right? That space of interest, of presence, of excitement, right? And getting to know one another. And right now, I don't know. I don't know that dating is really a thing right now, with all the craziness going on, but it doesn't mean that we can't still connect with ourselves in the process, like getting in tune with who am I internally? What is it that I want? How do I want to show up in the world? Who do I want to be? Who do I want to be with? Right? So maybe it's taking that time to have a date night with yourself. Doing the actions of preparing a meal with love and care, as you deserve, surrounding yourself with beautiful flowers. Perhaps it's just the ritual of loving and falling in love with ourselves. Ritual can be anything, right? It can be lighting a candle and sending a thought someone's way. It can be a full ceremony. It can be, whatever that looks like for you. For me, ritual is the steps that I take to prepare before beginning a practice, right? Or before I go about my day. After I make my bed, I do my grounding exercises. Like, I'm ready to go. I do my ritual. I say my prayers. I ask for protection for myself and my loved ones. We do whatever it is that we do that's ritual for us, helps us to stay grounded in our authenticity, who we are and how we're showing up. And I guess that's a continual theme throughout all of these messages, but these are hopefully more specific for you and in alignment with what resonates for you. So perhaps exploring the idea of what ritual does look like for you. How can you create a ritual that is in alignment with who you are? How can you start your day or end your day in a way that harmonizes with who you are as a beautiful being, right? So, and something to consider too, if you look at history, you look at our celebrations, they're all based in ritual, right? So, even dating is a ritual these days. We get to decide what that looks like. We get to make that up, right? We have our own family traditions when it comes to holidays and what we celebrate and how we celebrate and what we eat and who wears what and who does what. And you do the vegetable tray and you do the turkey and you do the whatever. Like, we all have our own role in that. So maybe this is an opportunity to kind of redefine and realign, right? What is this going to look like? What does it look like for you? So here's the invitation. Something to think about. So, and I may say this again at the end of the reading. If this doesn't resonate for you, that's totally okay. Take what works for you, leave the rest. It probably wasn't meant for you anyway. So it was probably meant for someone else. So if you do feel called, perhaps there's value in another portion of the reading. So another way that you can, so two other ways that you can support yourself at this time. One of which is to be in alignment with what it is that you're sharing with the world. Sometimes we get so fierce and so excited about our message, we don't think about the level of power and overwhelm that might have for others. So yes, stay in your authenticity. Yes, stay in your truth, right? Stay in your integrity, but don't compromise who you are as a result. Just maybe scaling it back. Taking baby steps. Don't rush in too fast. Just be who you are. Be in alignment. Be authentic to who you are. And maybe just kind of learn the balance of what that looks like too. Because I think that part of it's healthy. And this next piece is really that balance, that harmony, right? So being authentic and being in harmony. It's like we do want to be authentic. We do want to show up in the world in the most honest and authentic way, but we don't want to tell our whole life story where people are sobbing in the aisles, right? Like, we don't want to tell them the details of the seventh grade experience that changed your life forever. They can know the basics, but they don't need to know all the gory details. It's too much. It's learning that balance. Okay. So then we have a few more cards here, and I'm going to go ahead and read these first. The last three cards are what you can expect if you follow along with the suggestions that were made by the self-care recommendation suggestions from Spirit. Here's what you can expect. We'll also offer you some affirmations and some manifestation affirmations as well to kind of like anchor in where we're at with it. So we have King of Cups. We have 10 of Cups. And we have the Star. So to me, King of Cups represents the ideal love, a relationship, right? So if you have a good relationship with your father, you might compare someone that you're dating in your life to that person. So ideally, that's the kind of feeling most of us want to feel, is secure, loved, and protected, but free to make those decisions to do what we need to do in order to live our life at the fullest that we can. But doing so, I think for some of us, it does help us to feel secure, right? To create that space for us to be our most authentic self, that safety, right? To just kind of grow and be and do whatever it is that we're supposed to do, and know and trust that somebody's got our back. They're looking out for us. And having that allows us a space to grow and connect, not just with Spirit, but also with our environment, with the people in our environment, with nature. We have the ability to really tune in and just connect. And it's all, at that point, it's all in harmony. So, and we just talked about harmony, right? So just a few more cards for you. I love these. So these are the sweet ass affirmation cards, and they have affirmations here that kind of pack a punch. They're really fun, so I hope you enjoy. We have, I practice and become what I love and appreciate, and I am unique in my offerings. You are a copy of a copy with magic on top. You are the product of 1,000 generations, but unique in your angle. Don't be afraid to study and adopt the ideas, strategies, and creativity of others. All our creations are modifications of those before us, with a slight burst of the magic within our personalities. Adding your unique twist to an existing idea is still a magical, pure form of creativity. Put on your disco pants and do a little dance with all the shortcuts the world offers you. We'd all still be blobs of slime if we weren't supposed to learn, copy, and improve. What new angle can you add to the canvas of universal creativity? So this is really interesting because as somebody who is continuing to learn and add to my own personal toolbox of healing skills, right? We are invited, once we're taught these modalities, we are invited to put our own spin on it, right? To take what we've learned and make it better, make it ours, make it our truth, right? So I love that there's the question, what new angle can you add to the canvas of universal creativity? We all are a part of this collective. There are no extras, right? We have each in us our own unique brand, and we may be doing the same thing as the guy that lives next door, but we're doing it our way, right? We're putting our spin on it. And we can even say exactly the same thing, but it's how we say it. It's how we show up. It's who we are at our core. And that is the message that I kept trying to get to, is that realigning with who you are. You already have an idea of who that is. You know who you are. Reconnect with that. Love yourself. You're amazing. Do that. Be in love with you. You know, trust that you know what the heck you're doing. You know what's going on. You've got some incredible skills. You are ready to make big changes. And I'm just so excited for you. This one's really fun too. We have a second affirmation card. It says, I am an axe-wielding warrior and I slay all things. You are the blood of savages, warriors, knights, and raging maniacs that refuse to quit. For millions of years, your ancestors were hardcore fighters and survivors, and had any of them dropped dead before successfully reproducing, you wouldn't be here today. You are a golden goose with genes so powerful you can survive natural disasters, droughts, plagues, and wars. Armor up and swing your battle axe at any force that steps in the way of your creations. So, how funny, right? That this message just reaffirms it doesn't matter what comes at us. We got this. We will keep swinging that battle axe. We will keep moving forward. We are resilient. We're amazing. We got this. We're powerful. So I'm going to go ahead and read these Dear Universe manifestation affirmation cards. There's like 5 of them here, you guys. So you got a lot of stuff coming in. So hopefully there's one message in here that speaks to you that you can kind of anchor in with. So here we go. Dear Universe, may the pain of yesterday never interfere with the beauty of today. So being present, being in this moment right now, leaving that past behind. Dear Universe, reveal to me the energy of true love and compassion in my life. Who in your life shows up for you in the ways that you show up for others? Who does that? Who do you want to emulate? Right? Make me a magical magnet for prosperity today. I release the need to compare myself to others. There is only one me. I just find it divine, right? Like synchronous even to have had that last message and then to see this one. There's only one me. I'm a copy of a copy of a copy, but I'm still magical. I'm still my own unique universal being, right? Like I still have magic just by who I am, by being me, by showing up, by offering my brand of amazing to the world. Dear Universe, guide me to heal my relationship with money and attract boundless abundance. And that is all I have for you today. Those that selected the crown chakra. I hope you got some value out of these messages today. I was really excited to get to share them with you, and I really feel like you're on the verge of starting something new. I feel like you really have a lot of it together, and you're in the space of being able to just bring it to life. So with all that being said, I thank you for watching. I do hope this resonates. Do feel free to comment if you feel so called. Also, at the very end, just after this one, you should be seeing another video that I put up here about my own personal experience with the Akashic Records and the messages that I received. So if you feel so called to listen, if you find comfort in that, wonderful. I'm offering up the opportunity for you to send me a few questions so that I might go in and ask some questions for you if you're inclined. So thank you all very much for watching. Thanks for being here. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for being authentic to you. So stay well, care for one another, and don't be nerdy like me, but but have a great rest of the day. I hope you're all well and safe. Take care. Thank you so much for checking out the last video here at the end of the readings. and I appreciate you taking the time to do that. So I wanted just to share, these questions were asked on the 15th of March 2020. And so for me out here in Arizona, this was before we had a lot of the responses that we had from the news, the government, all of that. So this is within that context, and I do hope you find some of this information comforting and helpful. I will continue to go into the records and ask questions, moving forward. And if you do want me to continue to share, please comment, please let me know, and I'll continue to do so for you. Or if you have any additional questions that you'd like for me to ask as a whole to address the community, you can do that. But I do suggest either you do so in the comments below, or you can email me directly if you have personal questions. You can send them to www.risingintheeast.com under Contact Us, and you can send me your question there, or you can email me directly at awakeningdawn1977@gmail.com. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and get started. So the first question was, how can I keep myself and my family safe from this virus and this panic in the world? And the response I received, there is no need to panic or fear. Your home is clean and safe. Many homes are clean and safe. This fear is reasonable, but it is not something you should worry about. Surround your loved ones with light, love, and high vibrations of love, and all will be well. Your inner trust is worth trusting. So I did add some commentary here, and that was, when the news reached me, it conflicted with my own internal feelings that all would be well. Though there was panic in the world, deep within I had this confidence, this knowing that I would be okay. So despite this, I felt I was beginning to question my own inner knowing, my own inner experience. So that's what prompted this question. And so the remaining responses are this: you, like many, are protected. You are a force of light in the darkness. Those who need you will find you, and you will be able to offer your brand of love and authenticity. It does say, they did say, keep vigilant, however, of your own vibration. You can grow weary, and that will wear on you. You walk between worlds, and spirit can offer some protection for the work ahead. So for me, what that means is walking between worlds. Since I was young, I've received messages from spirit, and I've learned to work with ancestors, guides, and ascended masters. And I also, through shamanic journeying, I travel into the lower worlds, which is actually, it's a place of deep inner knowing. It's a space for transformation and healing. It's really not something that's associated with preconceived ideas of upper or lower planes of existence within like specific religious belief systems. It kind of falls outside that. It's within the shamanic belief. So just for awareness and context for some folks. I have also experienced astral travel and believe that I may have accessed past lives in a dreaming state. And it was validated for me in a previous experience within the Akashic Records that I have been there before, though through this learning, through this experience, this is my only formal attempts with guided direction to this space. But so that kind of verified a lot of things for me, but that's a whole nother story for another day. Essentially, I think that this is what they were referencing when they talked about me walking between worlds. Stay present, be mindful, do your work, and all will be well. Stay grounded, keep your practice. So this statement, for some of you folks who don't know, keep your practice to me refers to my daily protection practices, rituals, self-healing practices, and prayers that I apply for myself and my loved ones. Meditate, journey, the way ahead will be shown one step at a time. You are guided and protected, as are all that love you in your line. So this may sound kind of confusing, but for me, it was shown to me the connections in this space. And what that looked like was my family, close friends who I have a spiritual bond with, as well as those who I'm connected to through blood. So those connections should be ultimately safe from a difficult impact, or that's the information I was given. So I'll go ahead and continue on to the next question that I asked, which was, what can I do to maintain my focus on my path and the way forward? So I feel that I'm on a spiritual journey right now, and as such, this kind of conflicts with that. This is a fearful time for a lot of folks, and continuing forward on a spiritual journey, it's hard to stay focused. So that was my question. Like, ultimately, how do I stay on this path and keep working toward my ultimate goal, which is to offer comfort and healing to people in need? So these are the responses I got. Be present in your work, whatever it is, and have faith that if you keep showing up to do the work, Spirit will show you the way, and the people in your path will show you the way. So to me, this would be the work I'm focused on in the moment. I was informed not to become distracted by media and fear. It is my belief that fear is truly the greatest and most powerful virus. So the more we give into it, the more power we allow it, and the faster it spreads. So again, it is my belief. They had said, Spirit will show you the way, and the people in your path will show you the way. They see through their eyes for a clearer vision. So at this point, I was invited to be open to the feedback of my peers and not allow my ego to doubt the information that's shared by Spirit in our interactions. So whatever Spirit shares with me when I make trips to the Akashic Records, it's my ego that doubts that. Our ego is something that can help us to feel inflated, or it can also be something that breaks us down. So that negative self-talk, negative responses that we give ourselves, that too can be part of the ego process. So for me, it was to take everything that Spirit shared with me and take it as a truth, and take that feedback that my peers give to me and take that as a truth, as genuine feedback. So instead of, trying to tell myself they're just being nice or whatever the case may be, which some of us do. And their response continued, you share a message of hope every time you speak about what you love, even in times of difficulty. You are a comfort, a presence of good. Your light calms others. People are drawn to you for these reasons. You shine from afar. Keep sharing your message. Your heart will always speak through your work. So that was a very emotional and challenging thing to receive, especially right after getting that message from Spirit that I needed to not doubt the information they shared with me. So it took me a minute. I got a little emotional when I was in more of a conscious state and was able to reflect on that. So thank you, Spirit. And the next question I asked, is there a message of hope I can share with others? Know this, there will always be times of uncertainty. There always have been. But in the quiet of the moments of calm, truth, trust, and intuition will emerge, and people will begin to wake up from their sleep. This act was extreme, but divinely guided. This act was not a declaration of war, but of Spirit calling an emergency siren to those needing to wake up from their slumber. Have confidence that all is divine, and in the calm, in the waking up of the world, we will begin our healing. So I don't know if that was intended to mean that Spirit would come in to those who are currently working and actively pursuing their healing gifts, that they will help to amplify these, because the next message was a little bit confusing and seemed disjointed. There wasn't a lot of context around that, so that I can only assume that with the guidance and assistance of spirit, the folks that are already doing this healing work and are guided to help others through healing, it does say for me, your healing gifts will increase and you are meant to use them. So that may be the case for other healers as well, that our gifts of healing will amplify and we should be able to continue to offer healing not only directly to one another, but also potentially, to the planet. I have personally had visions of healing the earth, literally laying my hands on the ground and working to heal the earth. So whatever that looks like for you, if that resonates, awesome. So again, I have more questions, so we'll go ahead and get to these. How will this outbreak affect people? People are becoming aware of their vapid, disconnected existence, not just from one another, but from themselves and from the earth itself. It is easy to become part of the machine and one of its sleeping cogwheels. We are all here watching, and mankind was meant for more than this. The time is coming. Have faith in its ability to become more resilient and open to healing and love. Have faith. The world is waking up. They are waking up. Stay grounded. Keep your practice. Eat right. Move. Stretch. Breathe fresh air. Feel the sun on your skin. Enjoy the fruits of the earth you live on. Disconnect when you're engaged in other activities from your electronic leashes and use them for voice connection. Trust. Your fate is secure. Many who leave will return if they wish it. So this is a little bit more challenging, and I was actually a little hesitant to share this because of this one message. So without getting into the extreme numbers and the details of all the people that are out there working so hard to keep us safe and healthy and do their best to help us through our healing. This message may be hard for some to hear or accept because it may be what it is. I mean, I take it for what it is, and it is that many who leave will return if they wish it. So those who leave this life will come back if they choose to rejoin their families again, who are here on earth doing this work. And I don't exclude myself from that list because I have no idea. We can only do the best we can do in this moment right now. But I did get the impression that, like I said, I'm hesitant to share this because I don't know the type of response it's going to receive. But those who leave will do so because they choose. They probably didn't choose to become sick. They probably didn't choose to have to suffer through the difficulty of recovery or having to deal with the lack of whatever resources are available to help them and aid them in their healing. And it like I said, it makes me a little uncomfortable to share it, but I do feel it's necessary. Those who leave have done so because they've chosen to do so through these difficult times, but they will come back if they wish it. I don't know if that piece really offers comfort due to the numbers as they continue to grow. Scary. It's very scary. So just sharing the information that came through, whether it resonates for you or not, it's totally okay. If it doesn't, leave it behind. Take what works, take what does resonate and gives you comfort. That was the intention. So what can I do to feel secure in these uncertain times? And the response that I received was, visit the records, study, engage in conversation, write, journal, meditate, get clear on plans, intentions, and your message. You are showing up in the world every day, and your fear abides your will. Will it gone, and it will be so. Will it growth, and it will be so. Become clear, and fear has no place. Write, believe, trust. make it reality, manifest. So this is very interesting because when I reflected on this, I was very confused by the message. So you are showing up in the world every day and your fear abides your will. So to me, I took that to mean whatever I was willing in those moments, fear was stronger, and it would manifest in whatever way I chose for it to manifest. I'm of the belief that the more we focus on something, the more we draw it into our lives, whether that's joy or whether that's fear or difficulty or whatever the case may be. So for the purpose of this message that I received here, your fear abides your will. Will it gone, and it will be so. Will its growth, and it will be so. So if I will my fear to be gone, that will be the case. If I will it to grow by continuing to ruminate and think about it, that will be the case. And that's the message that's going to show up in how I deliver it to the world. So that message on getting clear on my plans for the next steps and how I want to develop myself and my business and my spiritual practice, become clear and fear has no place. Once I become anchored in the messaging that I want to share with the world and how I want to show up, there's no place for fear. I'll have the confidence and trust that Spirit is guiding me. So write, believe, trust, make it reality, manifest. So to me, that speaks to me of manifestation, of the law of attraction. So the more I focus on it, any thought that hangs out here in the ethers that comes down into my mind is starting to form in my physical space. So once I take that and I actually move it through my body, through spirit, and down through my hands, it's actually becoming a reality in a way. By writing it down, by keeping track of that, that's a way for me to begin that manifestation process. Revisiting it, viewing it, remembering it, and continuing to bring it back down into my body, back down into my spirit, and allow it to become some form of reality. And then taking action to take steps to see what I can do today. How can I assess this? How can I make this my reality right now? What can I do? Can I not do it today? Okay, can I do it tomorrow? Maybe I can do it tomorrow. Maybe there's other steps involved, but it's keeping it in the forefront of our minds and allowing it to become that reality. So it sounds like their Spirit is really asking me to get clear on my vision, what I want for my future, and map it out, and then manifest it into reality. That's the message I received. So a few more things. What do I need in the days ahead to help me fill with light and light the way for others? So the next message, keep a list and keep it organized. Share your heart's messages about love, connection, compassion, integrity, and authenticity. Feel your passion and fall in love with it. Others will fall in love too. So I'm learning that my message is these things. That's who I am. That's what I stand for. Is authenticity, compassion, and love, and connection. Like connecting with one another. It's just all these things: self-care, self-love, self-compassion. That's my jam. So it's what I love. It's learning how to love ourselves, love the passion of sharing knowledge and experience. And if I'm feeling it, if I'm falling in love with it, then others may too. So others that are definitely feeling called, you know what I'm talking about. So the last question was this: is there anything else I need to know? And this was a really beautiful reminder too, because there have been many days that I've experienced a little bit of hesitation and fear. You know, this last week I started working from home, and it's brought its own challenges. I mean, I work in a corporate job, and I'm used to seeing other, you know, faces every day, and I'm missing them. But at the same time, it helped me to kind of reflect on, you know, I'm fortunate to have my family. I'm fortunate to get to be in a space where I can work from home, where I can have my loved ones close by, where right now we're safe, we're connected, we have what we need. And and even though I've been working from home, I've still been able to maintain those relationships and those connections and that support from my peers. So I'm so grateful at this time to be able to have that. I know that there are other people out there that are not as fortunate right now. So I'll go ahead and share this last message, and I will leave you with this. So the last question, is there anything else I need to know? Every day is a gift. Treat it as such. Disappointment has no place if your breath is free and your lungs are clear. Stay in the light. Keep it bright to burn off the excess. Keep your practice daily and trust your guides to lead you in the right direction. Trust yourself. You are loved, guarded, and protected always. Many have come to assist you in your mission. You will fulfill it if you maintain your focus. Live in light and love. So, really beautiful messages. Thank you for taking the time to watch this extra piece and hear what I had to say about that. Again, if you have additional questions, you want to reach out to me, please feel free to do so. You can do so through the links connected below. So may you all be well, safe, and blessed. Take care.